I'm Nicole Versansky. We have continuing coverage of a fallen hero. But first, 19 News has confirmed emergency and hazmat crews are on the scene of a chemical leak at the Jewish Community Center in Beechwood. Now, as a precaution, everyone inside was evacuated, and that does include children. We do not know if anyone was hurt. We do have a crew on the way. We will bring you the live pictures and new developments as soon as they come into our newsroom.
My heart absolutely breaks. He's 23 years old. I want the public to understand what this looks like. I want them to understand the repercussions of this violence. It is absolutely disgusting, and it is affecting us all.
Heartbreak, anger, and sorrow across our community in Northeast Ohio as we remember fallen Euclid police officer Jacob Derbin. We have just learned the funeral for Officer Jacob Derbin will be this Saturday at St. Columbkille in Parma. At any moment now, we are also expecting a procession carrying Officer Derbin's body to pass the Euclid Police Department. We begin our Total Team coverage with Brittany Weir, who is live at the funeral home where the procession will end. Brittany.
Nicole, there was a heavy police presence here at the funeral home in Middleburg just moments ago. Officers from all over Euclid, Independence, Brooklyn Heights, Strongsville, Cleveland gathered here today to help lead that procession and pay their respects for Officer Jacob Derbin. Officer Derbin was sadly killed in the line of duty on Saturday night when he was ambushed. The community shocked and saddened by this young officer's death. There's a memorial outside the Euclid Police Department that's continuing to grow. People were stopping by all afternoon to bring flowers and pay their respects. Well, tonight there is a memorial for Officer Derbin at River of Life Ministries in Euclid, and we spoke to the pastor there, Pastor Williams, who says everyone is welcome to come together.
We're just going to have really just prayer for the family, prayer for the police department and this city as a whole because of all the things that's been going on and how this particular one has affected the city. And we just want there to be calm.
And the suspect who killed Officer Derbin was Deshaun Vaughn. And after leading police on a manhunt, Vaughn was found dead at an apartment complex in Shaker Heights on Sunday. We did reach out to BCI, who is handling this investigation. However, they will not share how Vaughn died. They said his death is still under investigation. Although we did speak to the owners of the funeral home here, and they said that Derbin's body is expected back here today at 5 p.m. And of course, we'll continue to bring you that live coverage on this sad story. Live in Middleburg, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
And there are a lot of unanswered questions, including a shooting the suspect was allegedly involved in last week. Our Sarah Goldenberg is investigating that part of the story. She'll join us live first at 4.
Tracking the next big thing. It's your 19 First Alert Precision Forecast.
Turning our attention to the weather now. Sunshine, temperatures near 80 to start the week, but we do have some rain in the forecast. 19 First Alert meteorologist Sam Roberts joining us now with that new data. Sam.
Right, everybody out today enjoying the sunshine. It is so beautiful outside. Lots of blue sky over downtown Cleveland today. Many of us warming up to about 80, but this time tomorrow, unfortunately, we will be tracking rain for you. Rain's coming back by late morning and into the afternoon. I think first thing tomorrow morning, we probably won't see much, if anything, in the way of rain, but then showers start popping up a little bit more in the scattered variety. Severe threat is low, so that's always a positive takeaway. But obviously, midday commute, afternoon, evening commute will be impacted by this, as well as any outdoor plans that you may have. Clouds and rain keep things a lot cooler. Tomorrow, we're in the upper 60s to around 70 today. Obviously, way warmer than that. It's 80 in Cleveland, 75 in Akron, upper 70s right now in New Philly. Some of our warmest spots actually along the lakeshore. 80 in Ashtabula, 80 in Lorain and Sandusky, also around 80. Radar is dry. We are going to be staying dry for at least the next 12 hours. Then we start to get closer to mid-morning tomorrow, and of course those rain chances will increase. Temperature trend this evening is not bad at all. 80 at 5 o'clock, feeling like early June here, maybe even mid-June. 77 at 7 o'clock, dipping into the 60s overnight, and eventually upper 50s to around 60 tomorrow morning. We're going to walk you through tomorrow hour by hour coming up here in just a bit.
All right, now to developing news out of Massillon. A 27-year-old man shot and killed inside a Regal Cinemas movie theater. It happened late Friday night. Now, police tell us they have arrested a suspect, but they are working to figure out what prompted that shooting. Now to the hunt for this wanted fugitive. U.S. Marshals looking for Terrell Brown. He's wanted for the murder of Tallis Moorer. Police say the deadly shooting happened last May in Cleveland. Brown is known to hang out in the Cleveland area. If you've seen him, if you have any information on where he is, call 1-866-4-WANTED. Now to a 19 missing person alert. This is Aaron Murphy. Parma police say he was last seen a month ago, leaving his apartment on Snow Road near Midtown. Officers say he took his laptop and his PlayStation, but left his medication. Now, they also say they don't believe he has any friends in the area, and his family's concerned because they haven't heard from him. If you recognize him or have any information, call Parma Police.
Coming up, a little bit of an incident that happened last night at the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Call it a collision, call it planes touching. We'll explain coming up.
19 News first, fair, everywhere.
Two.
News first, fair, everywhere.
All right, a live look outside over downtown Cleveland. Beautiful day out there, but your first alert that some rain is on the way for tomorrow. Sam is back with just a few minutes with your first alert forecast. Well, we are learning about two planes that collided on the ground at Hopkins Airport last night. Now, airport officials say the wing of a Delta Airlines flight clipped a parked Spirit Airlines jet while taxiing. Dan DeRose with the 19 Data Journalism team joins us more with what happened.
This definitely sounds, when we say two planes collided, let's pump the brakes on that just a little bit. They basically just touched wings. I'm going to walk you through how this happened. This did not happen on a runway. This is a low-speed taxiway. And in fact, I'm going to bring you right down to the exact two gates where this happened out at Hopkins last night. Again, 2 planes, one was taxiing, one was actually parked. I'm going to get our pens up here. Here's B2, gate B2. You had a Spirit Airline, forgive my rudimentary drawings, that's not really the point. Spirit Airlines was parked. They were actually boarding. We all know what boarding looks like when you get on the plane and everything. But what happened is you had that Delta plane come and taxi to get into this spot in B4, gate B4. The problem is the wings, as that plane turned right here, touched a little bit. They glanced. There wasn't a whole lot of damage, but what they did have to do, that's a huge no-no. They're still investigating. Did the pilot turn too close? Was this plane parked the right way? So what they did is they had to get everybody off of each. Nobody was hurt. There was no kind of fire. There was no kind of damage, anything like that, other than to look at the wings. Everybody had to deplane, and they put these 2 planes out of service until they can be inspected. You had about 180 passengers total that had to be rerouted. It took about 4 hours. So if anything, this was more of a disturbance. 4 hours to get them on other planes and out of Cleveland Hopkins. Again, this was not in the air. This was not a huge collision. Just one of those things that just really shouldn't happen. And now the FAA is going to try and find out why. Nikki?
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
Checking in with 90 West at Dead Man's Curve. Just a few moments ago, there was a broken down car that was blocking the 2 left lanes, but as you can see, that has now been cleared. But that did halt traffic all the way back by where 90 meets East 55th Street. So as you can see, it's a bit of a slower go, even more so than usual. So the current speed just on 90 West, even before Dead Man's Curve, is under 10 miles per hour, which you can see in that red zone there. And even better, in our camera, you can see that traffic is filling up the freeway on 90 West at Burke Lakefront, because that was going pretty much at a snail's pace when traffic was halted to just 1 lane for a good portion of the 3 o'clock hour so far. But taking a look at 90 and East 55th Street, you can see that we have that line of traffic that starts there. So your traffic is still going to be causing you to have about 5-minute delays, or up to 10, depending on when you do get onto 90 West. But this is going to, like I said, cause under 10 minutes to be added onto your drive, but at least 5.
All right, Rachel, thank you. I want to get back now to breaking news out of Beechwood. A chemical leak at the Jewish Community Center in Beechwood. Everyone inside, we're told, has been evacuated. Our Colton Molesky just arrived to that scene. So, Colton, what have you learned? What can you tell us? Was anyone hurt?
Thankfully, no one is hurt. That's what I'm being told from some of the folks who work at the Mandel Jewish Community Center. I was actually just talking with some of those people about exactly what happened to bring hazmat here. That call coming in right after noon, right around 12:30. And, you know, when they made that call, they were starting to notice a funny smell earlier this morning in around the administrative office area, and that was spilling out into the halls, and they weren't sure what it was, what that was coming from, so they wanted to make sure their staff and everyone in the center was safe. They got everyone out as fast as possible, called hazmat, and now hazmat as well as fire and police are on scene trying to investigate where exactly that leak is coming from. Thankfully, like I mentioned, no one is injured. As you can see, they've blocked off this road. They're sending people who are picking up kids or anyone who was there at the center when all of this started down the roadway around to the other side of the building. And again, they're just trying to figure out exactly what this was. They're not sure what it is that spilled or leaking, but they know that there's something funny that smelled in their offices, and that eventually spread into the halls, and they wanted to get everyone out and make sure everyone was safe as quickly as possible. So now that's what hazmat is trying to do, is figure out the source of that leak, where that smell is coming from, and exactly what it is that's starting to permeate that building. But like I mentioned before, luckily no injuries. We'll be working to get the latest on what exactly is going on and what the source is as we continue throughout the day. In Beechwood, Colton Molesky, 19 News.
All right, Colton, thank you. Demolition crews will be back at the site of the deadly bridge collapse in Baltimore. They'll be back at that scene today. They're planning to use explosives to remove a huge section of wreckage. That work was actually supposed to happen yesterday, but was delayed because of lightning. 6 people died when a cargo ship hit the bridge in March. The demolition is now set to begin in just a few hours at 5 o'clock tonight. We'll have live coverage as it happens on air and on our streaming platforms. Now to this video from Texas, a Krispy Kreme donut shop catching on fire. The flames so intense, look at this. That's the front of the building that collapses. Now, thankfully, no one was inside when that fire started. And here's some daylight video showing that the building is now a total loss. When firefighters showed up, they found debris all over the road, and they say something exploded inside the store, and that is what may have caused the fire.
The 19 First Alert forecast, powered by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, amazing prices.
You're a little bit closer to home. You would never know that it's like early to mid-May because it definitely feels like June out there today. It's gorgeous. Look at this live picture from our I-90 cam out in Madison. It is so pretty outside, so warm, but this time tomorrow, unfortunately, we are going to be tracking a little rain for you. I don't think it's going to rain every second of the day, but there will be showers in the area. Here's the precision timing. So right out the door tomorrow, a lot more cloud cover than what we saw through the first part of the day, and it will be really comfortable. We're going to be around 60 to start the day. Now, I can't rule out a few little spotty showers here and there to start the day, but most of this is going to come in a little bit later. This is future view at noon, so this is your first alert for more numerous showers by late morning and into the afternoon. I think we'll continue to see occasional showers through the afternoon, so keep the rain gear nearby. Tomorrow, you'll need it just from time to time. Those clouds, the showers, they're going to keep things a lot cooler. Many of us are around 80 today. It won't be anywhere near that warm tomorrow. We're only going to be around 70, but that's pretty typical for this time of the year. I would plan for on again, off again showers and even a few rumbles of thunder to continue through the evening. A little tongue-tied on this Monday, right? And we'll continue to see a few showers even into Wednesday. Good news with both days, Tuesday and Wednesday, severe threat is low. This is more nuisance precip than anything else because we really don't need any rain. Tonight, 60, increasing clouds, pretty mild this evening. Just for some perspective, typical overnight lows this time of the year, they're in the low 50s, so we are running significantly above average tonight, and then tomorrow right around typical for this time of the year. This is your first alert for scattered storms throughout the day and cooler weather, but not what I would call cold, especially for this time of the year. 64 at 8 o'clock in the morning, 71 at 11, and we kind of just sit right around the low 70s for most of the day. Certified most accurate 7-day here. We've got showers and storms tomorrow, a high of 70, and then notice how mild we are at night. So if you did some planting this weekend, you don't have to worry about any frost even away from the lakeshore. We are in the 50s just about every night, if not in the 60s. Some of these evenings, scattered showers on Wednesday, mid-60s. That will be our coolest day. And then Thursday, perfect, 74, partly sunny. It really doesn't get much better than that. I mean, I wouldn't rule out like an isolated shower on Thursday, but I think most of us will be dry. Friday, next round of showers and thunderstorms. So your first alert for a wet Friday, especially during the afternoon. Weekend trending warm. Love this part of the forecast. This will be really mild. 75 on Saturday, 79 on Sunday. Some spots will hit 80. And our only rain chance this weekend is just a few showers coming in first part of the day on Sunday. All right, now that we've covered the next 7 days, I mean, we could talk about weather all day. Did you see the northern lights this weekend? That was a big talker. Well, coming up tonight on Cleveland's only all-weather show, First Alert Focus, meteorologist Kelly Dobeck is going to talk about what exactly causes that aurora to be different colors, green, pink, blue, red. She's going to explain that for us. Jeff is going to talk about a summer trend into next week, and meteorologist Andy Chillian talking about our updated tornado count in Ohio for 2024. You can catch all of this tonight on First Alert Focus. That's on Channel 43 at 7:30.
All right, Sam, thank you. A last-minute pause to the plan to cut credit card fees. Next at 3, now what? Especially for those dealing with debt.
Watch 19 News this morning from 7 to 9 a.m. on CW43 or streaming on the 19 News app. 19 News. First, fair, everywhere.
All right, I want to take you to live pictures right now. This is the scene outside the Euclid Police Department. We are waiting for the procession to pass here, carrying the body of fallen Euclid police officer Jacob Derbin. The 23-year-old's body is being escorted from the Cleveland Medical Examiner's office to the funeral home in Middleburg Heights. Dozens of officers you see here lining the streets. They will also be in squad cars leading the way, lining the path, honoring the fallen officer who was ambushed and killed on Saturday. The procession is going to pass the Euclid Police Department right here on the way to the funeral home. We will keep these live pictures up at the bottom of your screen so you can monitor this scene along with us. The Biden administration's plan to cap credit card late fees at $8 will not be taking effect as expected this week. A federal judge in Texas has temporarily blocked it after a legal challenge from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the American Banks Association. Both groups are applauding this ruling. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court may ultimately have to decide if this plan can go through. More people will soon be able to apply for Social Security. That is thanks to a new rule expanding the definition of a public assistance household. So, for example, starting September 30th, households who receive SNAP benefits will now also be included in that definition. The expansion will allow more people to qualify for supplemental security income, as well as increase some payment amounts for recipients. The price to hit the drive-thru continues to go up. An analysis by the website Finance Buzz found McDonald's prices doubled from 2014 to today. Popeyes, Taco Bell, Chipotle also saw big jumps. Prices at Starbucks and Subway increased 39%. The pandemic was cited as one of the reasons why, because of higher labor and food costs. Hyundai and Kia vehicles topping the list of most stolen vehicles in the country. Maybe not a big surprise, but that is according to a report from the National Insurance Crime Bureau. 2 Hyundai models and 1 Kia model made up the 3 most stolen vehicles last year. Thieves stole Hyundai Elantras more than 48,000 times, and Kia Optimas were stolen more than 30,000 times. Right now to live pictures outside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Game 4 against Boston tips off at 7 tonight. We're down 2-1 in the series, certainly looking for a big win tonight. Next at 3, we do have a live report from Rocket Mortgage with what fans can expect for tonight's game.
19 News. First, fair, everywhere.
This is Kevin, by the way. Kevin, Georgia.
Nice to meet you.
Kevin is not Greek.
I can tell. So is it live?
Dornakopoulos.
Live or pre-recorded?
Oh, live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
I mean, unless you feel more comfortable saying we can do this again if you screw up.
go back to live pictures from outside the Euclid Police Department as we wait for the procession to pass, carrying the body of fallen Euclid Police Officer Jacob Derbin. We understand the procession is on its way. His body is being escorted from the Cleveland Medical Examiner's office to the funeral home. We're told it has left the medical examiner's office and is on its way here to the Euclid Police Department. If you were watching earlier, you saw dozens of officers and community members standing outside honoring the fallen police officer. Again, the procession going to pass the Euclid Police Department on the way. We're going to keep these live pictures up at the bottom of your screen so you can monitor along with us and see the moment that that procession arrives here at the Euclid Police Department. Officer Derbin's death comes at the beginning of Police Memorial Week. That is a national week honoring all of those who have died in the line of duty. Our Harry Boomer continues that part of our Total Team coverage.
My heart just goes out to all these men and women that are on this memorial, especially to the most recent that happened on Saturday. It's just beyond tragic. Very, very sad.
Retired Cleveland police officer Daniel Maycat knows the risk of serving and protecting better than most. He spent 20 years on the job patrolling the streets of Cleveland.
This week is important to me and should be to everybody, is to honor our police officers who sacrificed their lives to take care of our communities and our cities in Cleveland, suburbs, and all across the nation.
On Saturday, Euclid police officer Jacob Derbin was ambushed and killed in the line of duty. He was only 23 and engaged to be married soon. National Police Week is designed to honor fallen officers, including Officer Derbin. Daniel Maycat, who served at the 3rd District, says being a cop taught him a lot about how people are perceived. He had a special look from behind his badge.
I saw a lot of bad, and I also saw a lot of good. You know, people asked me where I served, and I did, you can put it in quotes, the area of the hood, and for the most part. But some of the worst people I ever met in my life lived in that area, and some of the best people I ever met in my life lived in that area. So you can't just sugarcoat, you know, just because an area, it may be bad, that everybody's bad. It's not. And that's the same way it is with police. You know, just because there are a few that make it on the national news and start a bunch of protesting, they think that every police officer is that way. And, you know, becoming a police officer as a white man, it made me realize what it's like to be discriminated against just because of the color of my skin and the color of my uniform. And I said, you know what, you don't even know me. So, you know, gave me a perspective I didn't think I'd ever have before.
Tracking the next big thing. It's your 19 First Alert Precision Forecast.
All right, your first alert about rain on the way. 19 First Alert meteorologist Sam Roberts joining us now with that new data. But in the meantime, tonight is going to be beautiful.
It's going to be amazing, like a summer evening if you're coming downtown for the Cavs game or you're just going to be out and about in general. The weather looks wonderful, 60 overnight. Now, keep in mind that doesn't happen until very early tomorrow morning. So most of our early evening, we're in the 70s and then mid to upper 60s for quite some time. We will see increasing clouds this evening, but we are not expecting any rain. It's going to be great. Now, the rain comes into the equation tomorrow. Time now for your 19 First Alert weather calendar, where we look out 2 weeks past the 7-day to give you that first alert of what you can expect weather-wise. Any day with a flashing red box is a day with a chance for rain or thunderstorms. So obviously, we're going to have to deal with that on Tuesday. Thursday, Mansfield Greek Fest. Looking forward to this. And then, of course, the Tremont Greek Fest next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, already on the calendar. Hey, if you're going to the Guardians game on Friday when they're back in town, right now things are looking pretty rainy, especially in early innings. Now, it's still really early. There's several days before we get to Friday. I don't like to say that, but I mean, the forecast may change for the end of the work week, so stay tuned for that. Cleveland Asian Festival this weekend as well. Always a great event there. And then Sunday, Cleveland Marathon. 10K and 5K Saturday, and then of course the half and the full on Sunday. Both days it looks mild out there with temperatures in the 60s. Marathon runners, it is going to be warming up a lot. Eventually in the afternoon we'll be in the upper 70s, so lots of water for this one. Staying hydrated. 60s to start, so cool earlier, and then of course that warm up as the day goes on. Next week, some shower chances back in the forecast middle of the week. And then, of course, Memorial Day weekend coming up. Right now, the weather looks pretty quiet for the Tremont Greek Festival, for a rib cook-off, and then Reggae Fest Cleveland next weekend.
All right, Sam, thank you. Beautiful sky over Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Live pictures now. Certainly need our fans to be loud tonight. The Cavs taking on the Celtics at home, Game 4. We are down 2-1 in the series, and unfortunately, have you heard this? Donovan Mitchell is joining Jared Allen on the injury report. He's listed as questionable for tonight because of a calf strain. Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas live at the Fieldhouse tonight. Jason, we need a big Cavs win.
Mitchell and Allen on the injured list. I have a feeling that Mitchell will probably be good to go. All right, we are live here, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Game 4, Cavaliers and Celtics now about 3.5 hours away from tip, so we're here pretty early. The arena is relatively quiet, but of course it's going to be completely different here in the next.
All right. Jason, to cut you off, but we want to take a live look right now. This is the procession for Officer Jacob Derbin passing by the Euclid Police Department right now, carrying his body from the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's office to the funeral home. Passing by right now, you see the dozens and dozens of police officers, part of this procession, passing by the Euclid Police Department. Officer Derbin's father is also a police officer with the Euclid Police Department. I want to just take a moment and watch these live pictures as the body of 23-year-old Officer Jacob Derbin passes by the Euclid Police Department. You see the procession stopped, the officers saluting the car carrying the body of Officer Derbin. See the police officers standing outside the Euclid Police Department, saluting him. You can also see dozens of community members who have gathered outside the department, also to honor him and to pay their respects to the fallen police officer, just 23 years old. Killed Saturday night, ambushed Saturday night. His father, as I mentioned, also a member of the Euclid Police Department. It's an incredibly powerful moment as you see dozens and dozens of squad cars, officers. You can see a SWAT vehicle as well. And the officers saluting the body of Jacob Derbin. Community members gathering as well to pay their respects for the officer paying the ultimate sacrifice, trying to protect his community. His funeral, we have learned, will be Saturday morning at St. Columkill in Parma. This procession taking his body from the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's office to the funeral home, to Repepi & Sons Funeral Home in Middleburg Heights. But as you see here, passing by the Euclid Police Department. Officer Derbin, just 23 years old. You've heard he was supposed to be married in July, just starting his career, as so many members of his family had in law enforcement, serving our community. Wow, you can see that procession for miles. It sounds to me like the color guard, perhaps. You can also see the memorial, the makeshift memorial that has been set up outside the Euclid Police Department. And we've been reporting people have been coming all day to lay flowers and to pay tribute and to support the family. There will be, we have just learned, a special tribute tonight at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. The Cavs will be honoring fallen officer Jacob Derbin at the game, before the game, we understand, tonight. Right, and we will continue to bring you live pictures. We do have our Brittany Weir, who is live at the funeral home in Middleburg Heights at Repepi & Sons, where we will be able to bring you that video, those live pictures, once the procession does arrive at the funeral home. All right, we want to go back now to Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas. Again, he's live at the field house where the Cavs will be playing tonight. And as we heard, they're planning a special remembrance for fallen officer Jacob Derbin.
Yeah, Nikki, they are indeed. And boy, a somber night here at the arena. But the Cavaliers are playing Game 4 against the Celtics here. A must-win, down 2-1. Really would like to even this up before heading back to Boston. All right, joining us now from the Cavaliers is Georgia Sapunis. And Georgia, you've been with the Cavs now a couple of years. So this is the farthest the Cavs have ever been as you've been an employee with the Cavs, right?
That's right. I'm 4 seasons deep, and Game 7 just last week was very exciting against the Magic, and moving forward into round 2. Here we go against Boston.
And I want to make sure I get your title right. Senior Director of Digital Products.
That's correct.
That means a lot. One of the things that you know a lot about, and a great resource with the Cavs, is the Cavaliers app. Talk about the app, how cool it is, how many different things you can do with the Cavs app.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I'm most excited about is how you can personalize your video feed. So you can pick your favorite player and your favorite plays, and within 60 seconds of any exciting play happening on the field, you're able to see it in your app right at the top. So you can do that. You can customize the app on your home screen to fit your aesthetic. During the game as well, we have this live widget that ends up showing up on your home screen. And so you can get the stats, you can get the up-to-date plays, and of course the score as we hopefully stay ahead tonight.
Yeah, that would be good. And one of the things I also like on the app is, you know, when the game is over, the recap, the interviews with the players, with the coaches, that goes all right on the app, which is also a really cool resource, right?
Of course, of course. And while you're going there for pregame matchup information, you're getting all of the photos of the guys as they walk in. You're getting, you know, all the stats while you're looking at what's happening and who's playing well tonight.
Well, we'll see tonight. I mean, you know, it's very early. There's a little bit of energy and buzz in here already. Game 4, it's a big game. The weather obviously is great, as Sam has been mentioning, and we are hoping for a big win tonight. And you know, hey, if they get this one, it opens up potentially, you know, the game 6 back here as well. Georgia, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a lot more here from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse next hour and then all the way through the 5 and 6 o'clock newscast here. Again, we're about less than 3.5 hours away from the Cavaliers and Celtics. Big game 4 downtown here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. More news coming up.
Hi, Chief. This is Colton. I'm with 19. How are you doing today? No, I think you're good to go. I think you're good to go. I'm actually live out here at the Mandel Jewish Community Center, and I was just wondering. I see that your crews are clearing out. I was just wondering if you could give me an update on that leak they were investigating.
The 19 First Alert Forecast, powered by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, amazing prices.
I'm going to take a deep dive this afternoon into the next 7 days, and you'll notice here a big difference between this 7-day and the 7 days we've shown you weeks prior. Right now we're approaching mid-May, so obviously going to get a little bit warmer out there. We'll dive into tomorrow first. So tomorrow, one of the cooler days. On our first alert 7, you can see we've got showers in the area from time to time. Look, I don't think tomorrow will be a complete rain out. I don't think it'll rain every second or minute of the day. Key word for tomorrow is occasional. We're not going to be completely dry, but there will be kind of on again, off again showers out there and cooler temperatures than today, but not unseasonably cool. We're going to be around 70 tomorrow. Generally light winds, probably won't need the sunglasses as frequently as we needed them today. Then we get one more cooler day, Wednesday, 65. Scattered showers out there, especially in the morning. I think we'll be drying out into the afternoon. And then Thursday, pretty much perfect here. There is like a 20% chance, maybe 30% for an isolated shower shower. Thursday, most of the day is going to be dry. Next system comes in on Friday. This is your first alert for showers and thunderstorms. It's going to keep us a little bit cooler, 72 there, and then we warm up just in time for the weekend. I love this weekend forecast. Mid-70s on Saturday, upper 50s on Saturday evening, and then Sunday we're near 80. It's going to be really nice this weekend. The only kind of little fly in the ointment is Saturday. A few showers possible, mainly in the morning. I definitely don't think everyone will see rain, so most of our weekend for now is trending dry. And hey, into next week we are trending warm. Monday, a high of 80. I'm seeing more warm weather into next week. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we're going to take a closer look at tonight's forecast. In the meantime, we'll be right back.
19 News first, fair, everywhere.
Appreciate it.
All right, we have some breaking new details out of Beechwood, some sort of chemical smell, a chlorine smell, and evacuations at the Jewish Community Center there. Our Colton Molesky has some new information. Colton, what can you tell us?
Well, I just got off the phone a few minutes ago with the chief of the Beechwood Fire Department. He tells me that the building has been cleared for people to re-enter. You see the road behind me, no squad cars there. That road is open and the center is open, and all of the first responders are out of the building. He also walked me through, here's exactly what was going on. So when hazmat arrived at the scene, they were getting acid readings of some type in the building. They started moving their way through, and they eventually made their way to where all of the pool equipment and all of that tech is housed. They found a crack in one of those chambers for that pool equipment, and that's where they believe that leak was originating from. So they emptied that out, kept doing readings throughout the building until they felt that it was safe and those readings were low enough that it was safe to re-enter. They also advised the staff here at the Mandel Jewish Community Center to do a redo check of a redo inspection of all of their equipment to make sure everything is good to go. But as of right now, it's safe to enter that building. Now, that call came in originally around 12:30 a couple of hours ago, and the original concern for the staff when they had that smell coming in through their administrative offices is just to make sure that everyone was as safe as possible. I was able to talk with someone from the center earlier today.
It's our #1 priority to make sure our staff and our members are safe, and since we didn't know what it was, we evacuated the building, and now they're trying to identify the source.
Another good thing, no injuries reported last time I talked with center staff, so that's also good. No injuries. They got everyone out quickly, and now they have cleared that. Hazmat has cleared that area, and they have all moved out as well. In Beechwood, Colton Molesky, 19 News.
All right, Colton, thanks for that update. Thanks for watching 19 News at 3. Brian Duffy joining us now with what's coming up first at 4. We're keeping our eye on a lot of things, Brian.
We are. Good afternoon, Nicole. The procession for Euclid Police Officer Jacob Derbin has just moved past the Euclid Police Station on the way to the funeral home, and we have new information, breaking news on the man who is the suspect in Officer Derbin's murder. Plus,
Cuyahoga Heights School District coming together to remember fallen Officer Jacob Derbin. I'm Sia New Yorker. I'll show you and tell you how they're paying tributes coming up on 19 News.
okay, and the Cavs are playing at home tonight, down 2-1 in their series with Boston. We'll go live to the field house for a preview of that critical game for the Cavs. We've got those stories and more just ahead on 19 News at 4.
Wait, is it on now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go.
See something like this. Okay. Then you still have the center back there, but getting a little more consistent lighting. Changes the shot a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, please.
19 News, first at 4. Sponsored by the injury attorneys at Kissling, Nestico, and Reddick. Hurt in a car? Call KNR. First with breaking news. First with new facts. First to alert you about severe weather. 19 News is first at 4, and it starts right now with a breaking news alert.
And we continue to bring you breaking news on a fallen hero. Thanks for joining us first at 4. I'm Nicole Versansky.
And I'm Brian Duffy. Euclid Officer Jacob Derbin was ambushed and killed on Saturday night.
We do have team coverage. Brittany Weir will join us live in a moment with the somber procession carrying Officer Derbin's body to the funeral home.
But we began this afternoon with 19 investigator Sarah Goldenberg with all new information. Breaking news on the suspect who is now dead. Sarah.
In addition to shooting Officer Derbin, Deshaun Vaughn is also accused of shooting another man last week. 19 Investigates has uncovered multiple arrest warrants that had been issued for Vaughn just days before the officer was killed. According to Cleveland police, Vaughn physically assaulted the mother of his 2 children back in April, kicking her in the face and breaking her nose right in front of their kids. Then last Monday on May 6th, the woman told officers Vaughn showed up at her home asking to see their children, but she refused and asked him to leave. When her brothers showed up to help get her and the kids out of the house, she said Vaughn pulled out a gun and threatened to shoot them. Police say later that night, Vaughn did shoot the woman's brother multiple times on Glenside Avenue. An arrest warrant was issued on Tuesday, followed by 2 more warrants on Wednesday. On Saturday, the woman called Euclid police and said that Vaughn was once again threatening to hurt her. When officers responded, they were ambushed by gunfire, and that's when police say Vaughn shot Officer Derbin. Vaughn's history of violent criminal behavior actually began when he was a minor. 19 Investigates found he had been in and out of state prison. Coming up at 4:30, hear how prosecutors are responding to outrage over a plea deal they gave Vaughn in one of his cases. Sarah Goldenberg, 19 News.
All right, Sarah, thank you. And officers are standing by their fellow officer, supporting his family as well. They will continue to do so tonight and into the foreseeable future.
Our team coverage continues now. Brittany Weir live for us with what we can expect tonight. Brittany.
Brian and Nicole, in less than an hour, Officer Derbin's body is expected to be brought right here to Avra Pippi and Sons Funeral Home in Middleburg. We're told the procession is in front of the Euclid Police Department at this moment, but will be brought here. Earlier, officers from all over Northeast Ohio gathered to help lead this procession. There were police from Euclid, Cleveland, Independence, Brooklyn Heights, and Strongsville, each continuing to mourn their fellow officer. Jacob Derbin was killed in the line of duty on Saturday when he was ambushed. In the community, they're continuing to cope with this loss, creating a memorial in front of the Euclid Police Department. Pastor Williams with the River of Life Ministries is holding a memorial tonight in Euclid.
I want to make sure that in this time of bereavement, in this time of hurt and pain, that they know that there are people that are generally praying for this city, praying for the police department, and praying that we can get through all through this together.
And Officer Derbin's father was also on the force. So not only is the Euclid Police Department mourning the loss of an officer, one of their own is mourning the loss of his son. Now, we did speak to the funeral home here in Middleburg, and they told us the body is expected to be brought back here anytime between 4:30 and 5 p.m. And of course, we will bring you that procession live once it makes its way here and give you those updates. Live in Middleburg, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
All right, many Northeast Ohio police departments and local organizations offering their condolences and support to the family and co-workers of Officer Derbin.
And that includes the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse family.
Statement posted their social media, quote, "Our hearts go out to the family and friends of Euclid, Ohio police officer and Ohio National Guard member Jacob Derbin."
It goes on to say, we also want to remember all fallen officers across our nation who have made the ultimate sacrifice to help keep our communities safe. We thank them for their service and bravery.
All right, we are working on every angle of this story. We'll have continuing coverage on every platform. Download the 19 News app for minute-by-minute updates, and in just a few minutes, a blue alert went out after the shooting. Now, we're going to explain how exactly it is and how that works.
Now, we do have some more breaking news right now, this time out of Beechwood. The smell of chlorine at the Jewish Community Center forced everyone inside to be evacuated. Our Colton Molesky is there live, and he did just get an update. Colton, what can you tell us?
I did just speak with the chief for the fire department here in Beechwood. He told me, as you can see, folks driving up and down this road, this center is back open. Now, earlier they got a call. Hazmat was here. He was telling me that they were getting chemical readings when they arrived. They started doing a sweep of the building, and they found where all of the tech for the pools are held. That's where they found the strongest readings. They went in there and they found in one of the pieces of equipment a crack. They emptied out that bin where they found that crack, and the readings started to go down. They started doing sweeps of the surrounding that room. The readings kept going down and down until they found that it was able to clear out the entire building, or able to have people come back into the building, I should say, and that it is deemed safe for people to re-enter. So now they've just advised that the center should have some sort of inspection of their equipment sometime in the near future, but they are saying that it's safe. I actually just spoke with somebody who works here as well, and they're saying that the center will be open. The pools will be closed tomorrow, but the center will be back open tomorrow. So it is safe to re-enter. They did have to evacuate around 12:30. That call came in. Nobody was injured, but they did evacuate, get staff and personnel and everyone out as quickly as possible. And now everyone can re-enter after Hazmat has cleared the area. In Beechwood, Colton Molesky, 19 News.
Colton, thank you. And we're also following breaking news just in from Elyria. An ambulance involved in a crash on East Avenue near the Riverview Plaza apartments. This happened just 45 minutes ago. It's all we know right now. We don't know if this life care ambulance was on its way to EMH, which is about a half mile from that scene. Our Kelly Kennedy is on the way. She's working sources to get more information. As soon as we get anything, we'll let you know. But again, breaking news, an ambulance has been involved in a crash in Elyria.
Tracking the next big thing. It's your 19 First Alert Precision Forecast.
Well, after what has been an incredible day, we do have your first alert on some rain.
All right, 19 First Alert meteorologist Samantha Roberts here with what we need to know as we move forward. Hey, Sam.
Hey, guys. Yeah, we're going to go from gorgeous, like summer-like weather today over to rain, of course, tomorrow. Let's dive right in here at the big wall of weather. Our next cold front coming in tomorrow, and this means occasional showers and even a few rumbles of thunder. Now, positive takeaway from this is our severe weather threat is low, but of course, this is bad news for outdoor plans, midday commute, evening commute. At this point, it doesn't look like we'll have a ton of rain around first thing in the morning, probably going to come in a little bit closer to late morning, early afternoon. So morning commute looking fairly quiet for now. Then we get this brief midweek temperature dip before we come back up later in the week. This is not our only summer-like day today. We've got more to come in the days ahead. Speaking of summer, I mean, it's gorgeous outside. It's 80 at Hopkins, 83 downtown. Why is it so warm? We've got this strong south and southwesterly wind, and of course you're going to see really warm weather along the lakeshore with that kind of wind direction. We hit 84 today at Burke Lakefront. So if you're coming downtown for the Cavs game or for any other reason, dress for summer. 8 o'clock or 5 o'clock, 80. Little breezy out there, 77 at tip-off, and then pretty mild even after the game. We are still right around 70. Gray weather tonight before that rain comes in tomorrow. We'll break down the precision timing coming up in just a bit.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
And speaking of that Cavs game, our traffic is moving along quite smoothly into downtown. The only slowdowns that I'm seeing is, of course, around Dead Man's Curve on 90 West. As you can see in our look over at East 55th Street, traffic is moving along just at 15 miles per hour there per usual. So just a couple extra minutes will be added onto your drive, but so far this would be a good time to get downtown early and make sure that you are all set, get your parking spot for the game. We are clear of crashes and breakdowns for the rest of Northeast Ohio, but not slowdowns. Over on 90 West, I am seeing some slowdowns around 90 and Columbia Road, and part of that is because of the construction that is cluttering part of that area. And if you're going to be heading west onto 480. I am seeing some delays over at Lee Road. And in the Akron area, of course, Route 8 South, we usually see drivers tapping those brakes between North Akron and the intersection of 76 and 77. That's currently the case today, as we have some heavier volume starting by where Route 8 passes Perkins Street, where drivers are starting to slow down to just 15 miles per hour. And the speeds are not going to get any better as you pass a Route 8 is over by East Market Street or Exchange, and about an extra 10 minutes could be added onto your drive if you're going to be on that entire 4-mile stretch of Route 8 from North Akron to the intersection of 76 and 77.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Celebrating officers, construction work, and a time to make pool plans. 19 News is
everywhere.
Akron. The mayor celebrating these officers who reached an incredible milestone. They've been with the Akron Police Department for 25 years. Members of the group received their 25-year service pin.
Everywhere.
Lakewood. A heads up from the city. Work at the Lakewood Park parking lot is progressing. Leaders are reminding people of changing traffic patterns when visiting. They ask that you drive slowly and be sure to give workers plenty of space.
Everywhere.
Menor. Morton Pool has been filled and is being prepped for this year's swim season. They were able to meet goals for lifeguards. Things open next month. Season passes are available now. 19 News first at 4, just getting started.
Here's a look at some of the stories we're working on. Dan.
Nicole and Brian, we're all fairly understanding what an amber alert is, but this weekend a blue alert went out in regards to the Euclid officer shot and killed. What is a blue alert and how does it work? Coming up.
All right, Dan, thanks. Former President Trump's hush money trial continues in New York City. Ahead, what his former lawyer had to say and the impact this all may be having on the election.
Call it Cedar disappointment ahead after just a week. Why Top Thrill 2 is down at the amusement park.
All right, first loser in 9 days on the market.
The Financial Report, sponsored by Preservation Retirement Services.
Another ad agency, another gimmick.
Oh, is this mascot heaven?
Not quite. Basement storage at NJM.
NJM is proud to put policyholders first, so they don't need mascots like us.
So I'm the elephant in the room. Forget this, forget this. Oh, is this mascot heaven?
Oh boy.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test.
19 News. First, fair, everywhere.
In the hours after the shooting of Euclid Police Officer Jacob Derbin, you may have seen on social media or on the interstate signs what's called a blue alert.
But what exactly is a blue alert and how exactly does it work? For that, we go to Dan DeRose. Good information here. A lot of people maybe not clear about what exactly this is.
And you were just talking that maybe you haven't ever heard of this because, first of all, it's a good thing that it's not very often that an officer is hurt or killed in the line of duty, but even more rare that the suspect gets away, and that's the difference here. But let's talk about the 4 different kinds of alerts. These are all issued through the Ohio Attorney General's office. First of all, we all understand an Amber Alert, reserved for the most serious of child abduction cases. There has to be a witness of abduction. We've gone over those criteria. This is the only one that is allowed to send out that alert to your phone that makes it go off. Next up, there is the endangered missing adult, or endangered missing alert. This is for children, whether they're runaways or they're missing, but it's not an abduction. Now, you can issue an endangered missing alert, and then it can be elevated to an Amber Alert. You don't get the ping on your phone. It's just going to be through social media, the media, and radio and television. Then there's a Silver Alert. This is for adults 65 years of age or older, or any adult with a disability. And then we get to the 4th and final one, the Blue Alert. This is for an officer that is either hurt or killed in the line of duty and they can't find the suspect. The issue here is that if you want to get this on your phone, if you want to get an email, you have to sign up through the Ohio Attorney General's office.
And I would encourage everybody to do this. These are so rare, they don't happen very often, fortunately, similar to Amber Alerts. But when they do go out, it's basically saying to the public, we need your help.
Of course, that is Newburgh Heights Police Chief John Majoy. He is the head of the Northeast Ohio Amber Alert. He is involved in these alerts quite regularly. And it's not just about the Blue Alert to help police find the suspect. It's also to keep you safe. If there is a suspect believed to be in your area, you'll get that alert. Want to sign up? Go to cleveland19.com and look for the Blue Alert story on our page.
All right, Dan, thank you. And we do have continuing coverage ahead at 4:30. More on the suspect in this case. Hear how prosecutors are responding to outrage over a plea deal they gave Deshaun Vaughn in one of his cases.
The 19 First Alert forecast, powered by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, amazing prices.
Gorgeous day today. That is all I've heard anyone talking about in regards to the weather. Just such a nice summer-like start to the week. However, your first alert for rain coming in tomorrow. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, it's not going to be one of those days where it rains constantly. There will be dry breaks in this, but the overall theme of the day, a lot more cloud cover and, of course, that chance for rain. Let me walk you through it hour by hour. The clock, by the way, is above my head. So this is tomorrow morning. You can see way more cloud cover than we had this morning, and really mild too. We're going to be around 60. I do think we have the threat for a few little kind of spotty showers out there, but no widespread rain to start the day. The showers, the rumbles of thunder really don't become scattered or more numerous until late morning and especially into the afternoon when you can expect occasional showers, rumbles of thunder. So I would keep the rain gear close, and of course with clouds around with rain, that is going to keep us cooler, but not unseasonably cool, just a lot cooler than today. Your forecast high tomorrow around 70 with on again, off again showers, rumbles of thunder. You can really see what I mean here by it's not a constant rain. There's lots of breaks in it. We might maybe even see a few peaks of sun tomorrow, even during the afternoon. Tonight, 60, increasing clouds, mild weather tonight, running a little bit above average. A typical overnight low for this time of the year would be in the low 50s. That's what's normal for like approaching mid-May, but tonight we're going to be above average. We actually have a lot of above average evenings on our 7-day and no risk of frost if you've been doing any planting. First alert 7-day here, showing you another cooler day on Wednesday. This is actually below average, mid-60s with scattered showers. Once we get past that, we have a perfect day on Thursday, 74 and partly sunny. If you have to do anything kind of strenuous outdoors, it really doesn't get much better than that. But storms are moving back in by Friday, 72 for your high. And then the weekend, we get back into this little warming trend. Take a look here, 75 on Saturday, 50s at night, upper 70s on Sunday. That is going to be so nice. The only threat for rain we have Saturday, just a few showers possible. Right now, it doesn't look like a rainy day, just kind of some hit or miss stuff out there. We keep warming up into next week, Monday, a week from today, a high of 80. All right, so we've covered the 7-day, but we've got a lot going on in the world of weather. Did you see the northern lights last weekend? That was incredible. Tonight on Cleveland's only all-weather show, First Alert Focus meteorologist Kelly Doback is going to talk about what causes all of those colors. It's really interesting, really complicated. Where do those colors come from? Tonight, Jeff is going to talk about our summer-like trend into next week. And then meteorologist Andy Chillian has our updated tornado count for 2024. How many tornadoes have we seen in Ohio this year? We'll cover all of this for you tonight, only on Cleveland's only all-weather show, First Alert Focus, on Channel 43 at 7:30.
Okay, Sam, and Sam just mentioned this, and boy, what a sight it was. From Seattle to Saginaw to Nashville, Chicago, millions of people were treated to a spectacular show over the weekend. A series of powerful solar storms sparked these brilliant colored light displays across the northern hemisphere. Beginning late Friday night, the northern lights are visible when there's an interaction between the solar wind environment and Earth's magnetic field.
We had a particularly violent interaction that ended up sending particles into our atmosphere, electrons, protons, and those interact with the constituents of our atmosphere to produce these beautiful lights.
They certainly were, weren't they? I hope you got a chance to see them. Scientists say the geomagnetic storms disrupted GPS satellites and power grids and even affected the operations of a few Midwest farms.
Demand is skyrocketing.
About 1 in 8 adults, U.S. adults, have used medications like Ozempic, but these new weight loss drugs are not for everyone. Up next, the 5 things you need to know before starting the medication. Plus, a rescue effort down a drain near Crocker Park. How about this? We'll explain what happened and show you the pictures.
19 News, first, fair, everywhere. 19 News. First, fair, everywhere.
New weight loss drugs are changing the lives of many who struggle with weight.
However, experts say these medications really are not for everyone. The medications are approved to treat people with obesity, not those trying to just shed a few pounds. The drug should only be acquired through a medical professional. This class of drugs may lead to more pregnancies because of how they work. And since there's not enough research on the effect on pregnancy, side effects include nausea, vomiting, constipation, diarrhea, and fatigue. Insurance doesn't cover the medication for weight loss.
Bias exists around obesity that affects both the reasons why insurance companies are not covering anti-obesity medications like these, as well as why certain implementation of obesity treatments, like seeing a dietitian, for example, isn't covered by most insurance companies.
The FDA has also warned about potentially dangerous counterfeit versions of these new weight loss drugs.
New smartphone apps with artificial intelligence may soon be able to detect users' mental health issues. Dr. Nicholas Jacobson co-created the app Mood Capture. It's part of a recent Dartmouth College study. So users have selfies taken from their phone while answering questions about their mood. The AI model was 75% accurate in detecting depression signals.
Really, the purpose of it is not to just monitor folks continuously in a big brother way. It's to try to actually put power back into their hands using data that's really from their daily lives and informs their mental health needs.
This study collected more than 125,000 images from 177 participants. Researchers want to improve the app's security by ensuring the photos never leave the phone.
Experts are watching a new COVID-19 variant that could threaten to drive a summer surge. KP.2 is now the leading variant in the United States. Early lab tests suggest that the variant might be better at evading our immune defenses and could be slightly more infectious than previous variants. That's why researchers are closely watching whether the variant will drive a summer spike in infections.
News breaking at this hour, 2 school bus crashes, children inside, a truck involved too. Up next, what we know about the people who were injured.
And just a perfect summer-like day out there today. Great start to our week. However, this time tomorrow we'll be tracking rain on First Alert Doppler. Your First Alert forecast after the break.
Watch 19 News this morning from 7 to 9 a.m. on CW43 or streaming on the 19 News app.
Breaking at this hour, 3 people were hurt in a crash that involved 2 school buses and a pickup truck in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The 2 people in the truck and one of the bus drivers suffered minor injuries. 34 children on the buses were all taken to the hospital, but that was out of an abundance of caution. Thankfully, none of them were injured. It's unclear what led to that crash.
Also breaking, heavy rain is hitting southern Alabama and northern Florida. The National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning with, quote, life-threatening conditions. This video is from Atmore, Alabama, and it's from today. Destructive winds up to 80 miles an hour. Nickel-sized hail moved across the area into the Florida Panhandle.
All right, I want to get back to our top story, the death of Euclid Police Officer Jacob Derbin. Officers from all over our area are helping to lead the procession, carrying his body from the medical examiner's office past the Euclid Police Department. We brought that to you live at 3:30 and then ultimately to the funeral home. Officer Derbin was killed in the line of duty on Saturday when he was ambushed. We do have live pictures up there at the bottom corner of your screen. We're told just a few minutes away the procession is. You can see the officers there standing by, ready to stop and then direct traffic. These live pictures from outside Repepi & Sons Funeral Home in Middleburg Heights. Again, we are waiting for that procession to arrive.
19 News with continuing coverage everywhere at 5. Family and friends, of course, devastated. They will be telling us more about the life of Euclid Officer Jacob Derbin.
New grand jury charges in a deadly highway shooting in Cuyahoga Heights. Ian Rich is facing almost a dozen charges, including aggravated murder for the April attack on I-77. David Perez died. His wife was hurt. Rich will be arraigned on the new charges tomorrow, but for now remains jailed unless he can post a $1 million bond. Now to a 19 missing person alert for this 14-year-old. That's DeJuan Whitner. Cleveland police giving us this picture. He's about 6'1", weighs 150 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes. If you have information on DeJuan or know where he is, contact 2nd District Police.
All right, former President Donald Trump was back in court today for his New York hush money trial, and his former lawyer Michael Cohen took the stand. Cohen is an important witness for prosecutors as they try to prove Trump illegally falsified business records. Julia Benbrook has the latest on the trial and how it's impacting the race for the White House.
Former President Donald Trump is charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records. New York prosecutors allege Trump did that to cover up his reimbursement to his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, back in 2016.
The prosecutors need Cohen to express to the jury that what he was doing when he created these entries was covering up the fact that they had paid hush money for this story and then tie it into the campaign.
This stems from a $130,000 payment Cohen made to adult film.
All right, we're following breaking news now, and you are looking at live pictures now of Officer Jacob Derbin moving into position here at Repepi Funeral Home. Just an absolutely horrible scene, and it's been horrible, Nicole, since we took these live pictures of the officer as it moved past the police station in Euclid, now arriving at Repepi & Sons.
It went by the Euclid police station. He's just 23 years old, was ambushed and killed on Saturday. Jacob Derbin was his father, also a police officer in Euclid. And this procession, miles and miles long, officers from all over our area lining up to carry his body from the medical examiner's office in Cuyahoga County past the Euclid Police Department, and you also saw dozens and dozens of community members lining the streets just to be able to pay their respects to the fallen officer killed in the line of duty, now arriving here in Middleburg Heights, Brian.
Officer Derbin was shot on Saturday night as he did what he does. We're told by Chief Meyer in Euclid what he's always done, his job. He showed up to a home in Euclid on East 211th Street for a call of menacing. And when he showed up, he was ambushed, shot, and killed. The officer just 23 years old, expected to get married in July. The suspected murderer of Officer Derbin has now been killed. We also learned from Sarah Goldenberg earlier that he had shot another man. The woman who called police on Saturday night shot her brother just in the week before this. So this was a violent offender. We don't want to speak about him too much as we watch what's going on right now, as we see officers, we see firemen, we see EMS all standing guard as Officer Derbin is brought to Repepi and Sons Funeral Home.
Let's just kind of take a look at these pictures as we see police, EMS, Officer Derbin coming from a family who has devoted their lives to serving their community through the police, through fire, through EMT. As we look at the procession now arriving at Repepi and Sons Funeral Home in Middleburg Heights. And when it zoomed in, I noticed earlier today that thin blue line flag, the police flag, outside the funeral home. All flags across Ohio, the governor has ordered fly at half staff until his funeral. And we have learned his funeral will be Saturday in Parma at St. Columkille in Parma at 11 o'clock on Saturday. And look at this procession. It's so powerful, right? When you see these fellow men and women in blue honoring just the ultimate sacrifice and service that this young police officer, 23 years old, just starting his career with the Euclid Police Department with a fiance,
and
to get married in July.
We've seen too much of this too. We really have. And you heard from Chief Scott Meyer in Euclid yesterday and the distress in his voice as he talked about what happened and the violence that we're dealing with on our streets, and how when he went to see his officer, 3 other gunshot victims, all unrelated to each other. So 3 different shootings. We're talking about 3 different shootings from the shooting of Officer Derbin that same night in and around the city of Euclid. And he says it's just too much. It says he said humanity can just do better. We have to do better. And he also had some strong words for the justice system in Cuyahoga County. And we're going to continue to follow that story up too. But it's just too much to bear, he said. For him, he said it was his worst nightmare. He would sometimes lay in bed at night and just worry that he would get a call. And now he has said his nightmare has been realized as he is going to bury the son of one of his other officers. And it's really hard to imagine what all these officers are going through, because they still have to get up every day and continue to do their job in the midst of all of this.
And I couldn't help but think Officer Derbin ambushed, killed Saturday night, what his mom went through waking up on Mother's Day knowing that her son was gone.
That's unbearable to even think about. And this is also Police Memorial Week, and we've as I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, we've buried so many officers, too many. One is too many, and this is the beginning of Police Memorial Week, and just an awful way to start this. So what police officers do is they get up and
put their lives on the line every day.
They'll do it again tonight. There's officers on the streets right now. There'll be officers on the street tonight. There'll be officers on the street tomorrow. They take so much criticism from so many directions, and as you see, I don't know if it's family and friends or people who are just coming to be part of this. They would certainly be welcome, and this is really a tough scene for anybody who appreciates what these men and women do for us and do for our communities.
You can see police officers getting ready. I believe they're getting ready to take the body out of the vehicle there to take it inside the funeral home. And I have to imagine there will be a salute, emotional moments here as that happens. And as Brian mentioned, his father, Officer Jacob Derbin's father, is also a Euclid police officer.
And this is an officer who dedicated his life to service, National Guardsman, active National Guardsman, as well as a police officer. So this is somebody who decided to be part of the solution, decided to be part. Let's listen in. All right, so Officers Durbin's body, his casket, has been taken into the funeral home where, well, now it'll be a very difficult couple of days until his body is laid to rest.
The funeral will be Saturday at St. Columkille Church in Parma at 11 o'clock. We have learned that. And we will continue to cover this. The images, just so powerful, so somber, so emotional to be able to see the scene outside the police department in Euclid when his procession passed through there, and even leading up to this moment that you're watching here. We do have a team of reporters covering this, and we will continue to bring you breaking developments as we honor, as we remember fallen Euclid police officer, just 23 years old, Jacob Derbin.
We'll be right back.
.230 from our hit, check. Two and a half minutes away. All right.
19 News. First, fair, everywhere.
Boy, a big night tonight. The Cavs playoff game against the Celtics down in this series, Brian, 2-1.
They really are. They're going to have to find a way to get this one tonight. They need it. 19 First Alert meteorologist Jason Nicholas joins us now live from the Fieldhouse. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Brian and Nikki. Yeah, it's not technically the must win, but it's a must win. Cavs down 2-1, trying to even this series up at 2 apiece and send it back to Boston for Game 5 in this Eastern Conference semifinal matchup. So we'll see what happens tonight. We're here inside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, about 2 hours or so away from the big tip-off here. Cavs and Celtics. Joining me now from the Cavaliers, Chris Kaiser, the Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, as well as Pam Frosco, Vice President of Social Impact and the Executive Director of the Cavs Community Foundation. I got all that out right? Correct?
Perfect.
Right,
Nailed it.
Let's start with Chris. Now, Chris, I walked over here from our station over on East 12th, and I noticed outside, big home game, Fan Fest, always a fun time.
Yep, we got Fan Fest starting at 5 p.m. outside of the arena, so we're going to have, it's Fan Fest brought to you by Huntington. We're going to have entertainment teams out there, live DJ, food trucks, the whole 9 yards. We had a great crowd out there, even with the bad weather before the game on Saturday.
I did see the Barrio truck out there, which is always a big fan favorite, so pumped for that. It's just a great way for people who don't necessarily have tickets to get into the game to still enjoy being a Cavs fan, right?
Yeah, and a big goal of the organization is always just fan engagement, trying to get as many people to enjoy this experience and, experience the playoffs. And this gives them an opportunity without having to, pay for a ticket and be in the building to still be, have a place to channel some of their energy before the game.
Absolutely. And let's go over to Pam now. Pam, you can just hand the mic over. Now, you're going to talk a little bit about the road game watch parties and the donation to the foundation, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so after we win tonight, we'll actually be back here on Wednesday for a watch party, and it's a great way to engage the community, to get in the building. It's a $5 donation to the Cavaliers Community Foundation, and so attending the game, watching it on the big screen here, you're actually getting the community to give back. The foundation gives to all sorts of agency partners in Northeast Ohio for the well-being of youth, and to date we've given over $45 million over the last 20 years, and this is a really easy way for us to engage everyone. Quick donation, and it's going right back into the hands of kids.
Yeah, I've never actually done that, but I've had friends who have done it and seen pictures, and it's fun to watch it out at a bar or restaurant, but to come in here and still be in this arena and root the Cavs on, and I hope you're right. We'll be doing it on Wednesday for to go up 3-2. We hope. Big game tonight here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Chris and Pam, thank you so much. Game 4. 7 o'clock, Cavaliers trying to tie this series up with the Celtics at 2 games apiece. We'll have a look at your forecast inside here, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, coming up at 5 o'clock.
Well, we need the fans tonight, right?
We do.
Need the fans to come. The series has been just up and down. And
roller coaster.
Kind of like, I guess that's the playoffs. That's what it's been like, right?
Yeah, well, let's hope it's on the upward trend for tonight, right?
I hope so, too. Speaking of not on the upward trend right now, we're still waiting to find out when Cedar Point's newest ride, Top Thrill 2, will reopen. The coaster had been open for only about a week when the park suddenly shut it down. They released a statement on social media saying the ride needs a mechanical modification, and would be closed for an extended period. Park officials have not said exactly what that modification is or when they expect the ride to reopen.
How about this life-saving rescue this morning in Westlake? A mama duck wandering into traffic, leading crews to her babies that were trapped in a sewer. So you can see animal control here, guiding mama off Crocker Road, and minutes later, workers went to the drain, scooped 5 ducklings out. Animal control notice, look, mama has a tag on her little leg there, her little ankle. So they called the Lake Erie Science Center to find out why. And listen to this, she has a story of her own.
And she was one of our former rehab patients, one of our babies, and we hand raised her, let her go, and now she got her own babies.
Oh, and she's caring for those babies, and here they are. You can see mom and her babies taken and let go at a nearby creek. Everyone appeared happy and healthy and reunited.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
I wonder if they put a tag on any of the little ducklings just to be sure that they're staying out of trouble and out of sewers. taking a look at the roads here, you can see that we are clear of crashes and breakdowns, but certainly not slowdowns throughout Northeast Ohio. As you can see, especially on 480 over at Lee Road, both those east and westbound drivers are dealing with all that construction that's still cluttering the highway and causing them to slow their speed to just around 20 to 30 miles per hour. And that's going to stretch for about a mile. So if you're about to be heading this way, whether you're going east or west, you will have at least an extra 5 minutes added onto your drive. And if you're going to be heading south on 71, your drive is also going to be at least an extra 5 minutes longer than usual, because I'm seeing some heavier volume starting over by where 71 meets Puritas Road, and then goes into that 71 and 480 intersection. Again, we're clear of crashes and breakdowns, but if you're heading south, you are going to be dealing with slowdowns and speeds just around 30 miles per hour for about a 1.5 mile stretch there. And 77 south at 271. This is a live look. Those drivers are not seeing better speeds either. Just around that 25, 35 mile mark is where we're seeing drivers slow down at this intersection, again, because of construction that's cluttering that highway, reducing them a lane. But their delays are going to be just around an extra 5-10 minutes as well. And that's going to be the same for Route 8 over from North Akron to the intersection of 76 and 77, with current speeds slowing down to just around 30 miles per hour there. You're going to start to tap those brakes where Route 8 passes Glenwood Avenue and get a little bit slower over by East Market, with, again, about an extra 5 to 10 minutes added onto your drive there as well.
Rachel, thanks. Raging wildfires are forcing thousands to evacuate parts of Canada. The Parker Lake fire now has spread to more than 4,000 acres. Residents there were warned to evacuate parts of Alberta due to a separate wildfire spanning 16,000 acres. Smoke from those fires prompted air quality alerts across the country. The smoke is also moving down into parts of the U.S. Minnesota was placed under an air quality alert.
Now, rescuers searching for missing people after flash floods and mudslides, killing at least 43. This is in Indonesia. Heavy rain triggered those landslides and cold lava flow, which is a mixture of volcanic ash, rock debris, and then water that just flows like mud. At one of the heavily damaged areas, people struggled to find clean water because of all the infrastructure that had been damaged. They've been evacuated now to a makeshift evacuation center.
The 19 First Alert Forecast, powered by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, amazing prices.
We were very spoiled in the world of weather today. It has been amazing outside, but this time tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with rain and thunderstorms. Let's dive into your First Alert 7-day here. Look, I don't think it'll rain constantly, but especially from late morning through about early evening, we're going to have a couple of batches of rain coming in. So we'll say occasional storms. It won't be constant and persistent. It'll be a lot cloudier, though, and a lot cooler, too. A high of 70 tomorrow. Take a look at the hour by hour. It looks a lot different from today, right? 60s in the morning, low 70s in the afternoon. So temperatures really just don't move much at all over the course of the day. Today was so warm, we hit 84 at Burke Lakefront Airport. We were in the 80s at Hopkins as well. Not many 80s on the board, though, now until next week. Wednesday, scattered showers, a little more cloud cover, mid-60s there. And then Thursday, one of my pick days of the 7-day. Partly cloudy, 74. The air's going to feel kind of dry out there, just really pleasant on Thursday before another batch of rain and storms comes in on Friday. Let's dive into the weekend here. 75 on Saturday. This is not bad at all. Now, we could see a few showers on Saturday. Saturday also not a rain out. In fact, it'll be a lot less rainy than tomorrow. Upper 50s on Saturday evening, Sunday upper 70s and dry. So I hope we don't have to make any changes to this because it's a big weekend in downtown Cleveland. It is Cleveland Marathon weekend. If you're doing the 5K and the 10K Saturday, chance for a few showers. We talked about that weekend rain chance, just really kind of pleasant. We're going to be in the 60s for this. Full and half on Sunday, and we've got the forecast dry for now. Really mild, though. It's it's going to start to feel really warm as the morning goes on. 60s, our highs on Sunday, getting close to about 80. So lots of water as we run through the weekend. A week from today, a high of 80. What a beautiful day there. Next Monday, not a bad 7-day at all. Just kind of get through a little rain. Coming up at 5, Jason's back with a closer look at your first alert weather calendar.
All right, Sam, thanks a lot. Let's fast forward to 5 now, just moments away. Our crews are live everywhere across Northeast Ohio, and we have team coverage on a fallen hero. Up next, breaking developments on the death of Euclid Officer Jacob Derbin.
Everywhere at 5, I'm Harry Boomer across from the Justice Center at the Peace Officers Memorial. Back in 1962, President Kennedy started it as a day. Now it is suspended to a whole week, paying homage to those who gave their last full measure, serving others.
The latest out of Beechwood, details on the smell of chlorine at the Jewish Community Center, where everyone inside had to be evacuated.
Good evening, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I don't know which mic I use, Kevin. Is this one?
Everywhere at 5, sponsored by Spectrum, America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider. Covering the breaking news happening everywhere. Reporters live on the important stories everywhere. Tracking your first alert weather everywhere. 19 News is everywhere. Now at 5, with a breaking news alert.
My heart absolutely breaks. He's 23 years old. I want the public to understand what this looks like. I want them to understand the repercussions of this violence. It is absolutely disgusting, and it is affecting us all.
Heartbreak, anger, and sorrow across Northeast Ohio.
As we remember fallen Euclid Police Officer Jacob Derbin. We continue to bring you breaking news everywhere at 5. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Fry.
And I'm Tiffany Tucker. Euclid Police Officer Jacob Derbin was ambushed and killed Saturday night. We have just learned the funeral for the officer will be this Saturday at the Candlelight in Parma.
Yeah, we begin our total team coverage with Brittany Weir, who's live tonight at the funeral home where an emotional procession will come to an end. Brittany.
Chris and Tiffany, it's just absolutely heartbreaking out here this afternoon as Officer Jacob Derbin's body was brought here to the funeral home in Middleburg. Officers crying, hugging each other, very emotional scene. But there was police representation from all over Northeast Ohio, and they're still out here just consoling one another, mourning, paying their respects. But officers from Euclid, Independence, Cleveland, Shaker Heights, Brooklyn Heights, all over the place coming out here to pay their respects for this fallen officer. Officer Derbin was sadly killed in the line of duty on Saturday night when he was ambushed. The community shocked and saddened by this young officer's death. A memorial outside the Euclid Police Department continues to grow, and people were stopping by all afternoon to bring flowers and pay their respects. Well, tonight there is a memorial for Officer Derbin at River of Life Ministries in Euclid, and we spoke to the pastor there, Pastor Williams, who says everyone is welcome to come together.
We're just going to have really just prayer for the family, prayer for the police department and this city as a whole, because of all the things that's been going on and how this particular one has affected the city. And we just want there to be calm.
The suspect who killed Officer Derbin was Deshaun Vaughn, and after leading police on a manhunt, Vaughn was found at an apartment complex in Shaker Heights on Sunday. Now, we did reach out to BCI to see if they're releasing the information on how Vaughn was killed. They told us they're not releasing it just yet, and his death is still under investigation. And as Tiffany said earlier, we did learn the funeral for Officer Derbin will be on Saturday at 11 at St. Columbkey in Parma. And of course, we'll bring you more of those updates as we learn them. Live in Middleburg, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
And as we said, there are a lot of unanswered questions. We are working every angle of this story, and we'll have continuing coverage on every platform. Download the 19 News app for minute-by-minute updates.
It is a busy news day. We're also following breaking news out of Elyria tonight. An accident involving an ambulance has turned deadly.
Kelly Kennedy live at the scene tonight with the latest. And Kelly, what are police telling us?
Tiffany and Chris, this is absolutely heartbreaking to report, but I've learned an Elyria grandmother was killed after she was hit by an ambulance. And we're here right now at the Riverview Apartments. This is on East Avenue in Elyria. This is a low-income apartment complex. And I've been talking with neighbors who witnessed this whole thing. As you can see behind me, police are gone right now. There was a large scene when we got here, but we do have some video we want to show you from earlier when we first got to the scene. I'm told police got this call at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. And I've been talking, like I said, with neighbors who unfortunately witnessed this horrific accident. They tell me this victim was a beloved mother and grandmother who lived here in these apartments. I'm told she was riding in a motorized scooter when she was hit. Neighbors tell me the ambulance was here to pick up another resident when that accident happened. You know, Elyria police are, of course, still investigating this. We're hoping to get another update from them soon. I've also been talking with some neighbors here who tell me they're planning a candlelight vigil to remember this woman for tonight at 9. We'll let you know as soon as we learn more. Reporting live in Elyria, Kelly Kennedy, 19 News.
Helping you plan your evening. It's the 19 First Alert Power Planner.
Certainly beautiful outside, but guess who's inside? Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas joins us live from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, where the Cavs are getting ready to play Boston in Game 4.
Yeah, Jason, as Tiffany just mentioned, beautiful weather today, but tomorrow things are going to be a little different.
Yeah, we're going to track some rain for tomorrow. But yeah, Tiffany, Chris, as you mentioned, beautiful here, obviously inside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. We're 2 hours or so away from the Cavaliers tipping off against the Boston Celtics in a very big Game 4 matchup. The Cavs trying to get back into the series, tie back up at 2, and send it back to Boston on Wednesday, and then come back here, hopefully, for a Game 6 on Friday. But one thing at a time. All right, weather-wise, let's take a live look outside. Right now, I'll show you what's going on. This is a live look from our Jack Casino cam. Overlooking the arena, and you can see not too much traffic yet, but boy, what a beautiful afternoon to be out. Take a look at temperatures right now across the region. We are running in the upper 70s to near 80. At last hour, we are at 80 at Hopkins Airport. Normally, we're at 70, but boy, this is just some great weather. We're going to be a little cooler tomorrow, so enjoy this very nice trend. Look at our downtown temp, 83. The winds have been strong enough today to prevent a lake breeze from happening. We've had winds gusting 10 to 20 miles per hour. A along the lakeshore in downtown Cleveland. So unlike many times where we say, hey, if you're coming down into the city for the game, it'll be cooler, tonight not the case. In fact, it might even be a little bit warmer. Wider picture shows this big bubble of orange air really centered across much of the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. That's going to continue to play a role in our weather, but notice the showers out towards Chicago and St. Louis, all those showers moving into our area as we head through the day tomorrow. Let's look at you hour by hour tonight. No issues. Few clouds. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. Temps around 80, falling eventually here into the 70s and eventually into the 60s. But a very nice night, not only here to head to the Cavs game and home from the Cavs game. Nice weather for that, but also fire up the grill, find a patio porch. Should be A-OK tonight. We'll talk more about our rain threat for tomorrow and cooler air coming in. All that more here from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
And we're continuing to follow developing news out of Massillon. A 27-year-old man shot and killed inside a Regal Cinemas movie theater. Happened late Friday night. Police arrested a suspect, but they're still working to figure out how the shooting started.
Now to the hunt for a wanted fugitive. U.S. Marshals looking for Terrell Brown. Take a good look at your screen. Brown is wanted by Cleveland police for shooting and killing Tallis Moore. Police say the murder happened in May of 2023 in the 900 block of East 141st Street in Cleveland. Now, Brown is known to hang out in the Cleveland area, so if you have any information on his whereabouts, perhaps you may know where he is tonight. Call 1-866-4WANTED.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
Taking a look now, you can see that we have some slowdowns that are on 71 South over on 480. And I just was dealing with this camera that is also showing some slowdowns on 90 West just after Dead Man's Curve. There's no crashes or breakdowns that are in Northeast Ohio, but we are dealing with some slowdowns more so than usual, not just in this area, but over on 480 West over at Lee Road, where we have some construction that's still cluttering that portion of the highway, slowing down especially those westbound drivers to just around 30 miles per hour. But this is what I'm talking about, 71 South and snow. So where 71 first passes Puritas is where you're going to start to tap those brakes. From there, you're going to be dealing with speeds that are a little slower around the intersection of 71 and 480. That's going to take you eventually to Snow Road, where we're seeing the slowest speeds of just around 15 to 25 miles per hour. Again, there's no crash or breakdown, but you will be on the road for at least an extra 5 or so minutes if you're going to be heading south on 71.
All right, Rachel, thanks a lot. Well, it seems like every game in the playoffs is the most important game of the year for the Cavs.
And that certainly fits tonight. Game 4 against the Celtics. So let's head out live to the field house. Here's Ashley Holder. Ashley.
Yeah, guys, going down 3-1 in a series is not impossible. Teams have come back to win 13 times, but that's not where the Cavs want to be after tonight. But what has been fun in this series is watching Donovan Mitchell. He has been a beast and by far the best player in this series. He's also the Cavs leader on both ends of the court, and it shows.
My bad on D, fellas. My bad on D, fellas. Screen! Nice, kid. Nice, kid. Nice, kid. More of that, I'll handle. You get into the action, then you attack. Bert, me and you. Set it right now, set it right now. Woo! Woo! That's good, T. Don't reach on that, though. No. Don't reach on that. We good, fellas. Hey, few mistakes we can clean up. Gotta eliminate the threes. 12 minutes of everything. Need the rebounds, need stops, contest the shot, great contest. But for 12 minutes, everything we got. Everything we got, come on.
I apologize for Ashley's microphone there. 19 News is live everywhere, working on the stories that impact you.
Still got a lot to cover here at 5 o'clock. Here's a look at what's coming up.
A little bit of an incident last night at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport between two planes in the taxiway. It sounds worse than it was.
Plus, Mr. Trump's fixer-turned-foe takes a stand in the former president's so-called hush money trial. Ahead at 5, we'll break down what Michael Cohen told the jury. Jason.
All right, beautiful today. Temps soaring to near 80. We are tracking cooler air and also some rain and thunder in the forecast. Breaking that down for you next.
19 News is sponsored by HMW Law, Ohio's personal injury attorneys.
All right, welcome back. A beautiful day on this Monday. A live look at the Great Lakes Science Center camera, courtesy of our First Alert Camera Network. And it may be beautiful now, but a first alert for rain is on the way tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas is back with your First Alert forecast in just a few moments.
So we're learning more about two planes that collided on the ground at Hopkins Airport last night.
Yeah, airport officials say the wing of a Delta Airlines flight clipped a parked Spirit plane while taxiing.
Our Dan DeRose with the 19 Data Journalism team joins us with more on what happened. Dan.
Well, you hear two planes collide at the airport, and you're like, what happened? Really, in the grand scheme of things, this is pretty minimal. Again, it's an accident. You don't ever want to hear of an accident happening at your airport. But I've got pulled up the exact taxiways. This is B2 and B4 where it happened. You had a Spirit Airlines plane parked right here. They were actually boarding at the time this incident happened. You had a Delta flight taxiing in, so we're talking very low speeds, and as it made its turn, its wing collided with the wing of the Spirit Airlines plane. We're told minimal damage, and again, this is just some sort of error. They're investigating. The FAA has been called in. We do know that between the two planes, obviously, neither of those planes could fly any longer last night. So for about 180 passengers that had to get off their planes and find different routes if they were heading out of Cleveland, especially for the Spirit flight, it took them about 4 extra hours to get everybody on other flights. The FAA, again, is in. They'll inspect the damage to the two wings. How much is there? I talked to Jamie Leibovitz. He's a very noted attorney handling aviation cases. He says, yes, this does happen from time to time. You never want to hear about it, but it does. But again, nobody hurt yesterday, no kind of fire, nothing like that. Just a small incident now under investigation.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot. A 19 consumer alert tonight, and more people will soon qualify to apply for Social Security. A new rule expands the definition of a public assistance household to those receiving SNAP payments. Now, this is expected to not only help more people qualify, but to also increase payment amounts for some recipients. It will also reduce reporting burdens for people living in public assistance households.
The price of fast food is surging. A study by Finance Buzz found McDonald's prices have doubled from 2014 to today. Popeyes, Taco Bell, and Chipotle also saw big jumps. Prices at Starbucks and Subway increased 39%. The pandemic was cited as one of the reasons for the increase because of higher labor and food costs.
Check this video out from College Station, Texas. A Krispy Kreme donut shop catching fire. Flames so intense, the front of the building collapses. Thankfully, no one was inside. Here's the aftermath of the building during daylight, showing a total loss. When firefighters showed up, they found debris all over the road. They say something exploded inside the store, which may have caused the fire.
The 19 First Alert forecast, powered by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, amazing prices.
All right, we are live inside here, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Now, the walk over from our station downtown is about as good as it gets. So if you're heading downtown for the Cavaliers and Celtics Game 4, prepare for some nice weather. Bring the shades. You might need them. You obviously won't need them after the game, but sunshine, a little breeze, and the temperature about 80 degrees. So when it's in the 80s and the Cavs are still playing basketball, that typically is a good sign, because that normally means we're in May, or maybe we're, as we know over the years, perhaps even in June. All right, let's take a look, show you what's going on outside right now. This is a look from our First Alert cam overlooking Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. There are a few more cars here and there, and a lot of folks out and about enjoying also an afternoon, probably headed downtown a little bit early too. Temperatures across the region are quite nice, upper 70s to near 80. Didn't really get a lake breeze today, so we kept temperatures very warm, even into downtown Cleveland. Look at the Burke temp right now, 83 degrees. So we're going to stay very warm downtown, courtesy of a very strong wind out of the southwest. Temperatures off to the west are still pretty warm, so we're going to be mild tonight, but then eventually rain does come in as we head through the day tomorrow. You can see those showers from Chicago down to St. Louis. Hour by hour tonight, pretty quiet. Few clouds will thicken up a little bit later on tonight. We go from about 80 into the 70s. Take a look at First Alert Future View, and we're going to time out the rain coming in for tomorrow. tomorrow. While we start the day dry, notice here as we head through our day on Tuesday, a few showers beginning to creep in across our southern counties, and then a few more through the afternoon. There could also be some rumbles of thunder Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night, especially. However, right now, our severe weather threat is low. We'll keep watching, though, of course, and give you the first alert if that does change. All right, overnight lows tonight around 60. Clouds will thicken up. Highs tomorrow, not as warm as today. Also, we've got clouds. We also have some rain and even some thunderstorms around. Temperatures tomorrow right around 70 degrees, which is right on average for this time of the year. Quick look at the 7-day. Temps kind of stay on the cool-ish side, at least over the next couple of days. Thursday, mid-70s. Thursday after today is absolutely the pick day. Some storms move in for Friday. Right now, the weekend looks warm, 75 to 80. Saturday, Sunday. Now, Sunday is the marathon. Now, Saturday's the 5 and 10K, but the big marathon, the half on Sunday. Right now, things look good for the race in downtown Cleveland. A lot more, including our first alert weather calendar coming up at 5:30 from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
All right, Jason, thanks a lot. Well, firefighters rushing into a burning home to help save a dog. Next at 5, what we're learning about the blaze and if anyone was injured.
The 19 News Live Camera Network, brought to you by the Summa Health Orthopedic Institute with same-day, next-day appointments. Learn more at summahealth.org/ortho.
And all right. No, I got it right here. Okay. Euclid's police chief Scott Meyer is one of many who's asking those questions. He wants to know why such a dangerous criminal was allowed to walk the streets, especially since the signs were there all along. Police say Vaughn shot another man last Monday, just days before Officer Derbin was murdered. At the time of the killing, Vaughn had at least 3 active warrants for his arrest. In the newsroom, Mike Mason, 19 News. Thank you, guys.
News. First, fair, everywhere.
Elyria firefighters rescue a dog from a burning mobile home. These pictures from the West Ridge Green mobile home park. Police say one person was taken to the hospital, but their condition is unknown. Crews are still trying to figure out how that fire started. The Guardians have a new look. The City Connect uniforms pay tribute to the organization's historic past, with the CLE on the front and the numbers that look like they are etched in stone on the back. The Guards will debut the uniforms this Friday against the Twins. The team will wear them for every Friday home game moving forward.
Sweet unis. All right, an extreme hike, adoption fees reduced, and a hydrant flushing. 19 News is
everywhere.
We begin in Paynesville, and starting today, the city's water department is flushing hydrants in Section 7. Now, Section 7 includes north of East Walnut Avenue, west of South State Street, south of Menor Avenue, and the north and south sides of Main Street to Township Line. Signs will be posted. This is all happening this week from 7 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. Now, if you have discolored water afterwards, run your water for a few minutes.
Everywhere.
Now to Cleveland and the Cuyahoga County Animal Shelter offering reduced adoption fees. It runs now through Wednesday. The normal adoption fee is $95, but it's been dropped to $40. The shelter is open tomorrow and Wednesday from 10:30 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Everywhere.
Finally, Brecksville. And if you're a nature lover, well, this is for you. The Cleveland Metro Parks holding an extreme hike next Saturday, May 25th. You can explore the heart of the Brecksville Reservation from the bottom of the Chippewa Gorge to the top of My Mountain. It starts at 9 a.m. and goes until noon. Continuing coverage in the murder of Euclid Officer Jacob Derbin. Next at 5, the murder happened on the eve of Police Memorial Week, and how the officer will be remembered.
These are live pictures from outside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Game 4 against Boston tips off at 7 o'clock tonight. We're down 2-1 in the series, looking for a big win tonight. A live report from the Fieldhouse with what fans can expect for tonight's game.
Watch 19 News this morning from 7 to 9 a.m. on CW43 or streaming on the 19 News app.
We continue to follow our breaking news, the death of 23-year-old Officer Jacob Derbin. The officer ambushed and killed Saturday night. The suspect is now dead, but how he died is still unclear. There will be a vigil tonight for the officer. 19 News will be there. We'll be streaming it live on our digital platforms. Well, Officer Derbin's death comes at the beginning of Police Memorial Week.
Yeah, that's a national week to honor all of those who died in the line of duty.
Our Harry Boomer continues that part of our total team coverage.
My heart just goes out to all these men and women that are on this memorial, especially to the most recent that happened on Saturday. It's just beyond tragic. Very, very sad.
Retired Cleveland police officer Daniel Maycat knows the risk of serving and protecting better than most. He spent 20 years on the job patrolling the streets of Cleveland.
This week is important to me and should be to everybody, is to honor our police officers who sacrificed their lives to take care of our communities and our cities in Cleveland, suburbs, and all across the nation.
On Saturday, Euclid police officer Jacob Derbin was ambushed and killed in the line of duty. He was only 23 and engaged to be married soon. National Police Week is designed to honor fallen officers, including Officer Derbin. Daniel Maycat, who served at the 3rd District, says being a cop taught him a lot about how people are perceived. He had a special look from behind his badge.
I saw a lot of bad, and I also saw a lot of good. You know, people asked me where I served, and I did, you can put it in quotes, the area of the hood, and for the most part. But some of the worst people I ever met in my life lived in that area, and some of the best people I ever met in my life lived in that area. So you can't just sugarcoat, you know, just because an area, it may be bad, that everybody's bad. It's not. And that's the same way it is with police. You know, just because there are a few that make it on the national news and start a bunch of protesting, they think that every police officer is that way. And, you know, becoming a police officer as a white man, it made me realize what it's like to be discriminated against just because of the color of my skin and the color of my uniform. And I said, you know what, you don't even know me. So, you know, gave me a perspective I didn't think I'd ever have before.
And that was Harry Boomer reporting. Here we are. It's the day. A live look at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. We'll need our fans to be loud tonight. The Cavs taking on the Celtics at home in Game 4.
Yeah, it's 2-1 in the series in favor of Boston. Unfortunately, maybe some bad news. Don't know right now. Donovan Mitchell joining Jared Allen on the injury report. Cavs star guard listed as questionable tonight due to a calf strain. In the meantime, Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas is live from the field house tonight.
Jason, we need a big win tonight. Need it.
Oh, we desperately do, and we hope we have good news for Donovan Mitchell from Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. We would desperately need both of those guys tonight. So obviously we are pumped for the Cavaliers tonight, Game 4 against the Celtics. But I'm joined here by Mike Ostrowski, who is the president of the Cleveland Monsters. And by the way, the Monsters are also in the conference semifinals. For those of you who don't know, I think it's such a fun time to come out here to those games this year. And Mike is here. Boy, you guys just won your first round series. Now you move on to Syracuse with a couple of home games, right?
That's right. So real excited to be here. Thanks for having us. Obviously here with the Cavs game tonight, but we have some hockey. So the North Division Finals is actually here. It's Division Finals before hopefully we get to the conference finals.
So actually the exact same time we are with the Cavs too, yeah.
Down to the final 8. It's slightly different in terms of the structure, AHL and NBA, but important games here Thursday at 7 and then Saturday an afternoon game at 1 o'clock. We've had about 12,000 fans, over 12,000 fans for each of our first 2 playoff games last week. So just an electric atmosphere. We can't wait to get back here.
Well, attendance-wise, you guys are right at the top, right? I mean, people love coming to those games.
Yeah, our fans are great. I mean, the support we've had here in the American Hockey League and the hockey fans of Cleveland have been amazing. We've averaged 10,264 fans per game. Led the American Hockey League in attendance 3 out of the last 4 years. Had 2 crowds over 15,000, 2 over 14,000. It's electric in here. This building is great for hockey, and our fans continue to show show up.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Best of luck. Thursday and Saturday, right?
That's right.
Games here. All right. Well, let's take a look at our 19 First Alert weather calendar. Monsters, as we just told you, Thursday and Saturday. Let's take a look at the calendar and show you what's going on here over the next several days. We've also got a lot of other things happening on the First Alert weather calendar, including some showers around as we head through the day on Tuesday, cool on Wednesday. A few Greek festivals out there, too, this Thursday down in Mansfield. Asian festival this weekend as well, the marathon. I mean, this is just a time where so many things are going on. Let's take a look at that forecast for the Guardians here on Friday. I believe that's the first one. Thank you. Guardians and Twins. Friday, 7 o'clock. Temperatures in the 60s, cool, showers and storms. That could also be Game 6 with the Cavs, providing they win one of the next two. So I'm pretty optimistic that'll happen. It could be one of those rare nights we've got the Guardians and Cavaliers both with home games. Cleveland Marathon forecast. Let's look at that. Now remember, we've got the 5 and 10K on Saturday with the Asian Festival. The marathon on Sunday. This is a morning temp. Temps in the 60s, cool. Dry for now. Dry for now on the marathon. And actually, that's pretty good running weather. If anything, it might get a little warm as the day goes on. Heading into next week, we've got a lot happening, too. Summer-like on Monday. Guardians again. Few showers around the area. Berea Rib Cook-Off. Tremont Creek Fest. Reggae Fest in Cleveland. And all the way to Memorial Day. So, jam-packed 19 First Alert weather calendar, including the Cavs, including the Monsters, as they are both in the playoffs. We'll take a look at our rain threat for tomorrow coming up.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
And if you're going to be heading into downtown to join Jason and the rest of the 19 News crew at the Cavs game, there's no traffic that's going to be getting in your way around Cleveland. But I do want to check in with some of those other slow spots that I've been keeping my eye on. Like 77 South at 271. We have some construction in this area that is causing drivers to tap those brakes and deal with speeds just around 35 to 40 miles per hour here for about a mile-long stretch around that intersection with delays just around 5 minutes. And if you're going to be heading south in Akron, you already know that there's going to be some delays on Route 8 South. Right now, it's starting just after our camera at Route 8 and Perkins Street. Drivers are getting a little slower once they get toward East Market Street. That's where we're seeing the heaviest volume here. And those drivers are slowing down to just around 30 miles per hour there as well. And it's not going to be until after you pass Route 8 at Exchange Street and get to the intersection of 76 and 77 that you'll finally be back to full speed.
All right, now to a 19 missing person alert. This is Aaron Murphy. Parma police say he hasn't been seen since April 10th, leaving his apartment in Snow Road near Midtown. Officers say he took his laptop and PlayStation but left his medication behind. They also tell us he doesn't have any known friends in the area. His family says they're really concerned since they haven't heard from him in more than a month. If you recognize him or have any information, give Parma police a call.
Now to the war in Israel, and Israelis pause for 2 minutes of silence Monday, remembering all the souls that have been lost. But the ongoing war with Hamas dominated the annual Memorial Day. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu telling the audience, quote, "It's either us, Israel, or them, the Hamas monster, vowing to be victorious." The U.S. has cautioned against a major military assault on the southern Gaza city of Rafah, and is particularly concerned with what happens after the war. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel needs an exit strategy and a replacement Palestinian government.
You're going to have a vacuum, and a vacuum that's likely to be filled by chaos, by anarchy, and ultimately by Hamas again.
Some 300,000 Palestinians left Rafah over the weekend. This already crowded tent city on the Mediterranean coast may not be able to cope with further influx.
The man who once said he would take a bullet for Donald Trump testified against him today at the former president's criminal trial in New York. Jared Hill reports from outside the courthouse.
What do you have to say? Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former longtime personal lawyer and fixer, took the stand Monday.
You plan on telling the truth?
In his testimony, Cohen detailed so-called catch-and-kill operations to quash unfavorable press about his former boss. Cohen implicated Trump in a 2015 effort to kill a false negative story a Trump Tower doorman had been shopping. Cohen testified that Trump told him, quote, "Make sure that this story doesn't get out. You handle it."
The prosecution has to portray Cohen as a fixer who was, the henchman to Donald Trump, close to him, set on, doing his dirty work.
Cohen's $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels is at the heart of the case. Prosecutors say Trump directed Cohen to make the payment ahead of the 2016 election to keep Daniels quiet about an alleged 2006 sexual encounter with Trump. Prosecutors say Trump then engaged in election fraud by classifying checks Cohen received as legal payments when they were really reimbursements for the Daniels deal, meant to sway the election. The former president has pleaded not guilty and says the encounter with Daniels didn't happen.
Got no evidence, and I'm innocent.
With former President Trump under a gag order not to talk about witnesses, he didn't comment on Michael Cohen's testimony today. Instead, Trump allies attacked Cohen's credibility.
This guy is a convicted felon. Does any reasonable, sensible person believe anything that Michael Cohen says? I don't think that they should.
Michael Cohen has admitted to lying under oath. He also served jail time on federal charges related to these payments. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Memorial Day weekend is almost here. Can you believe this? Do you have travel plans yet? Next at 5, some ways to save some money.
Watch 19 News this morning from 7 to 9 a.m. on CW43 or streaming on the 19 News app.
Yep, just what I thought. This hair is looking crazy. Sorry. Thank you.
"19 News is sponsored by HMW Law, Ohio's personal injury attorneys.
Hard to believe the Memorial Day weekend is fast approaching, so if you haven't made your travel plans yet, you better hurry up.
Yeah, AAA says it will be the busiest in nearly 2 decades. Chris Van Cleve with what you need to know about the holiday weekend travel.
On board the brand new Carnival Forense ahead of its sold-out inaugural Mexican cruise.
It's geared toward families, fun.
The summer vacation season has started a little early for the cruise family.
This is probably the most eventful vacation you can have in such a small area.
Part of it is also you can sort of lock in the cost.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Cruising is surging in popularity. Nearly 35 million passengers are expected this year, 5 million more than pre-pandemic. The Firenze was originally intended to serve China, but was shifted to the U.S. instead to meet the demand.
We're well booked ahead of where we would normally be. We have inventory open through the first half of 2026.
Are you full for the summer of 2024?
There's still space available, but we are telling people you've got to book early and plan ahead.
Carnival President Christine Duffy.
We're seeing more people that are discovering cruising as a great family vacation. The value of a cruise vacation relative to what it costs today to go to a resort makes it extremely attractive and efficient and easy.
AAA expects travel by cruising or train to jump nearly 6% this Memorial Day. The vast majority, though, will drive, a record 38.4 million, up 4% from last year. Gas prices have been ticking down, though they're still sitting about 8 cents a gallon higher than they were last year nationally.
People are still prioritizing travel, and they're budgeting for it. Maybe they're cutting back in other areas of their life, but we're not seeing people pull back on travel and how they're spending.
And at airports, AAA expects about 5% more flyers this Memorial Day.
Chris Van Cleve, CBS News.
Okay, so AAA also expects the Thursday and Friday between noon and 7 p.m. I see you shaking your head, to be the absolute worst. That's like all day.
Yeah.
To drive Memorial Day weekend. The airlines are also planning for their busiest summer ever.
Here's my advice. Just stay home. That's a good idea. All right. A Biden administration plan to cap credit card late fees at $8 won't be taking effect as expected this week. A federal judge in Texas temporarily blocking the plan after a legal challenge from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the American Banks Association. Both groups applauded the ruling. Now, the fate of the case may ultimately be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Hyundai and Kia vehicles topping the list of most stolen vehicles in the country. According to a report from the National Insurance Crime Bureau, 2 Hyundai models and 1 Kia model made up the 3 most stolen vehicles last year alone. Thieves stole Hyundai Elantras more than 48,000 times. Kia Optimas stolen more than 30,000 times.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, just over 2 hours from tip-off for Game 4 between the Cavs and Boston at Rocket Mortgage Field.
That's where we find Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas with your forecast inside.
Hey, Tiffany and Chris. Yeah, beautiful out there today. It's also very nice in here. And as we get closer to the tip-off, Cavs and Celtics at 7 o'clock here, so a little over an hour, more and more folks getting into the arena. And, of course, it's a big, big game. I mean, it's the playoffs. It's the Eastern Conference semifinals. They're all big, but this is Game 4. Cavs have an opportunity here to tie this series up, and they really need it. All right, weather-wise, if you're heading downtown for the game or the little fan fest around the arena, pretty good stuff. Live look, First Alert Camera Network, downtown Cleveland. This is from our Jack Casino cam. Looking great. People milling around, shorts, T-shirts, flip-flops. 80 degrees is pretty good for this time of the year, well above normal. Temperatures across the region, First Alert Doppler. Notice off to our west, a little bit of cloud cover. We'll start to see clouds increase a little bit, especially after sunset, but overall a dry night. Temps are in the upper 70s to near 80. Downtown Cleveland right now is at 83 degrees. We have not had a lake breeze develop. Strong winds out of the southwest certainly have helped that. Wider, let's take a look. We do have some rain moving in from the west out towards Chicago and St. Louis. Still pretty warm, at least a few states away, so we're going to stay relatively mild tonight. A little cooler tomorrow as those showers come in. Let's take a look here hour by hour tonight. No issues if you're going to go out to the Cavs game tonight or head to the watch party or just be out and about on a nice Monday evening. Feeling like summer. Temperatures from around 80 into the 70s and eventually here into the low 60s. Take a look at First Alert Future View here. I want to pinpoint the rain for tomorrow. While we're going to start relatively quiet, couple of showers here and there, our rain threat through the day tomorrow tomorrow certainly increases here. We'll watch showers and even some thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. Notice it doesn't appear like we've got any real bright colors like those deep reds or the oranges indicating real heavy rain or thunder. But we never say never. The way this spring has gone, it has been very volatile, meaning many times that severe weather outlook, those ingredients, the parameters aren't there, yet we still manage to somehow get severe weather. Right now, our severe threat tomorrow is low. We'll keep watching it. All right, overnight lows tonight bottoming out right around 60. Clouds will thicken. We're still dry. Tomorrow, watch out for rain and thunder. High temperatures tomorrow right around 70 degrees, which is, by the way, right on average for this time of the year. Temperatures topping out around 70. Not as nice as what we saw today. We'll take a look at your 7-day coming up in a few.
All right, Jason, thanks a lot. A hilarious and heartwarming photography contest that puts animals' comedic chops front and center. Look at that. Everywhere at 5, a look at the cream of the crop entries.
All right, if you have a problem that you would like us to address, call our 19 troubleshooter tip line. That number is 216-250-1618.
The 19 First Alert forecast, powered by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, amazing prices.
Interrupt programming.
Probably some.
Oh, God.
Can you hear me? Mic check 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Now they're not talking to me. Oh, they got it. Okay.
#19 News. First, fair, everywhere.
Take a look at this and try not to smile. These are the finalists for the 2024 Comedy Pet Photography Awards. There's a little of everything to tickle your photo funny bone, like pet and owner lookalikes, a kitty cat crammed in a crack, and a high-kicking kung fu canine. The competition aims to promote engagement of animal welfare while celebrating the vital roles animals play in our lives. An overall winner will be announced on June 6th. Oh, look at that one.
That's Great pick there. All right, a special honor for a legendary country music star. Toby Keith receiving an honorary degree from the University of Oklahoma on Saturday, 3 months after his death. His daughter, Crystal, accepting the degree on behalf of her late father. The musician died this past February after a battle with stomach cancer. He was 62. Keith was an Oklahoma native and a huge fan of the Oklahoma Sooner football team.
All right, let's take a look at our 19 first alert 7-day forecast. Today was great. Unfortunately, it's probably one of the better days over the next 7. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to get rain every day. In fact, Thursday's looking really nice as well. Temps in the 70s, a little cooler than today. Best rain threat's really going to be tomorrow into Wednesday and then again on Friday. Tomorrow, rain and thunder around, temperature around 70, not expecting severe weather. Wednesday, showers, but the latest data is showing most of that rain early in the day. I think by 1-2 p.m. we should really start to dry things out. Temperatures a little cooler, though, in the mid-60s. Thursday, we're in the mid-70s, as mentioned, really a pick day after today. Showers and thunderstorms move in for Friday. Some of those could pack a punch. We'll watch for that. We'll continue to look at our severe weather threat and give you the first alert if things were to change there. As of now, no alert day, but we'll keep watching. Weekend right now. So the best chance of rain is going to be Saturday. So if you're running the 5 or 10K with the Cleveland Marathon, you may have some rain around. In fact, I think it's a pretty good bet. But the good news is for marathoners, half marathoners, on Sunday, we dry things out. And temperatures do soar, though, into the upper 70s. So a little warm, but temps should start off in the 60s. And we're summery as we head into next week with high temperatures right around 80 degrees. We're back here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Of course, the Cavaliers taking on the Celtics at 7 p.m. We'll take another look at your forecast coming up at 6.
Our 19 news teams are working hard on new and updated stories straight ahead at 6. We continue to follow breaking news about a deadly accident involving an ambulance. We'll have a live report. Plus,
new at 6, Cuyahoga Heights School District coming together to remember fallen Officer Jacob Derbin. I'm Sia New Yorker. I'll show you and tell you how they're paying tributes coming up on 19 News.
Plus, 19 investigates taking a closer look at the suspect, his history of violent behavior, and why police were searching for him before this weekend's shooting. Tiffany and I are right back with those stories. We've got some updates. It's all straight ahead at 6.
We have the people behind me, right?
It should be there shortly.
We already see it. Thank you very much.
You want to talk?
Test it, 1, 2, 3.
He's testing the audio.
Hey, what live am I supposed to be in? Somebody's on 5 is busy. It's Sia. It's been busy. Thank you. It's busy. Somebody's on it.
Then dial up.
First, fair, everywhere. 19 News, your breaking news leader, starts now with a breaking news alert.
And we are following breaking news. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Brian Duffy.
And I'm Tiffany Tucker. 19 News with new developments on a fatal ambulance accident in Elyria tonight.
Let's get right out to our Kelly Kennedy live on the scene. Joins us what we've learned now, Kelly, in the last hour.
Brian and Tiffany, a horrific tragedy here in Elyria today for everyone involved. I've learned the victim was an elderly woman, a grandmother who was riding in a motorized scooter when she was hit and killed by an ambulance. Now you can see some people sitting behind me at this apartment complex. There are a lot of emotional people. I've been speaking with her neighbors, her friends, even her fiance, who was too broken up to go on camera. I do want to show you some video, though, from earlier today when we first got to the scene. Now, Elyria police tell me they got this call at around 3 o'clock, and they learned that a life care ambulance had hit a pedestrian. Now, this happened at the Riverview Plaza apartments on East Avenue. These are low-income apartments. And I've been talking with some neighbors who unfortunately witnessed this horrific accident. They tell me this grandmother lived here at these apartments. She lived here with her fiance. Again, I spoke with her fiance. He was just, she tells me she was 73 years old. I also spoke with one of her close friends. Here's what she had to say about it.
Everybody's heartbroken about this tragedy. We're all close. You know, we always talk to each other. We all sit out. Everybody was close to her. Everybody knew Carol. She was a very wonderful woman. She was like a mother to me, a friend.
So heartbreaking to hear that, and just talking with these people who knew her. Neighbors tell me that the ambulance was here to pick up another residence when this tragedy happened. Neighbors also tell me they're planning a candlelight vigil tonight at 9 to remember this beloved grandmother and mother. We're going to keep you updated. Police are, of course, still investigating. As soon as we learn more, we'll let you know on air and online. Reporting live in Elyria, Kelly Kennedy, 19 News.
Jacob, I could count on him every single time to do the right thing, make the right decision. He was kind, he was compassionate.
A community heartbroken, a family devastated, friends, family, and fellow officers remembering Officer Jacob Derbin. The young officer and National Guardsman was ambushed and killed, as you may know by now, Saturday night.
Heartbreaking. Brittany Weir begins our total team coverage from Middleburg Heights. Brittany, where an emotional procession has just ended.
It was a heartbreaking afternoon. Officer Jacob Derbin's body officially brought back here to A. Repepi and Sons Funeral Home in Middleburg. And law enforcement from all over Northeast Ohio helped out with this procession today. It went from the medical examiner's office to the Euclid Police Department and then right back here to Middleburg. The procession for Officer Jacob Derbin, it made its way east on 222nd to 9271 with that long line of law enforcement that could be seen for miles following the casket. It was an emotional afternoon as police officers stood together in front of the funeral home to pay respects to one of their own. And Officer Derbin was killed in the line of duty on Saturday after he was ambushed. Community members trying to find any way to show their support. So some lined the sidewalks during the procession this afternoon, others putting flowers outside a memorial in front of the Euclid Police Department. And in just about 30 minutes, a memorial is being held at the River of Life Ministries in Euclid.
For this young man, he was so young, and then to have a family getting ready to get married and things like that, and just to have his life cut short like that is just such a tragedy.
And Pastor Williams saying everyone is welcome to come together to mourn Officer Derbin. The Euclid Police Department is recommending anybody who wants to help out to donate gift cards to the department and to the family. And we are told that the funeral for Officer Derbin will be held this weekend. It'll be Saturday at 11 o'clock at St. Columbkill in Parma. The interment will be at St. Mary's. That is going to be in Cuyahoga Heights. Live in Middleburg. Brittany Weir, 19 News.
Well, it's not just the city of Euclid that is mourning this tremendous loss. Officer Jacob Derbin graduated just a few years ago, tragically, from Cuyahoga Heights High School.
All new at 6 o'clock, our See a New Yorker talked to family and lifelong friends who say he will never be forgotten. See ya.
Tiffany and Brian, flags are half-staffed not only here in Cuyahoga Heights, but all over the state of Ohio. Now, people I spoke with say that Officer Derbin made an impact even before becoming a police officer. Outside of Cuyahoga Heights schools, the flags are half-staffed in honor of fallen Euclid police officer Jacob Derbin. And inside the building, his pictures still hang in the halls and on the walls. His uncle Frankie Trusso says their family is devastated.
We always get together and always had a good time.
A Marine veteran and officer himself, Trusso says Officer Derbin followed in his grandfather and father's footsteps, serving the military and then becoming a police officer.
He was, outstanding student here, a great athlete, and but he never changed. His demeanor. Jacob is Jacob. That's the only way I could put it.
It's that same sentiment staff and students have about him, even though Derbin graduated in 2018.
The first thing everybody says is he was always someone you wanted to be around. Like even now when you hung out with him, he was always someone who was happy, in a good mood and good spirits, because he always brought joy to your life.
Cuyahoga Heights Superintendent Tom Evans is a lifelong family friend. He is heartbroken. This photo hanging in his office is another reminder of Officer Derbin's big heart.
I was floored when he brought this in. He signed the back. He gave one to Coach Martin, one to Coach Schaefer as well.
And man, he's left a legacy. Dedicated to the community, selfless, everything you'd want out of a young man. And I just can't believe, only 23 years, how much of a legacy he's been able to leave for us.
His coaches shared some beautiful and personal stories, including one about how he met his fiancée at the championship football game in Minster. Now, they lost the game, but he won the heart of a cheerleader on the winning team, and they were due to wed in July. We will definitely keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Reporting live here in Cuyahoga Heights, See a New Yorker, 19 News.
Okay, Sia, thank you. Officer Derbin's death comes at the beginning of Police Memorial Week. That's a national week to honor all of those who died in the line of duty.
My heart just goes out to all these men and women that are on this memorial, especially to the most recent that happened on Saturday. It's just beyond tragic. Very, very sad.
There will be a candlelight vigil at the Greater Cleveland Peace Officers Memorial Site at West 3rd and Lakeside Avenue this evening. Begins at 7:45. Many Northeast Ohio police departments and local organizations offering their condolences and support to the family and co-workers of Officer Derbin. That includes the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse family. A statement posted to their social media sites today said the group's "Our hearts go out to the family and friends of Euclid, Ohio police officer and Ohio National Guard member Jacob Derbin." It goes on to say, "We also want to remember all fallen officers across our nation who have made the ultimate sacrifice to help keep our communities safe. We thank them for their service and bravery." You can find more of these tributes on our website, cleveland19.com.
And Brian, coming up in a few minutes, the 19 Investigates team has a closer look into the suspect's past. And we're working on every angle of this story, and we'll have continuing coverage on every platform. Download the 19 News app for minute-by-minute updates.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast, certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, it is absolutely gorgeous outside, but what a day to be inside, right?
Well, yeah,
That's what our
listen,
chief meteorologist
if
said.
you're inside or outside, it's great, because if you're outside,
Yeah.
it's 80 degrees. If you're inside, you're getting ready for basketball like Jason is. Jason.
Yeah, boy, the walk in downtown Cleveland earlier this afternoon was incredible. I've talked to a few fans who have made the trek in. Still very nice outside. Temperatures are currently in the 70s and low 80s, even into downtown Cleveland. We didn't get a lake breeze today, so it stayed warm also along the lakeshore. We are less than an hour away. Cavaliers and Celtics, Game 4. Cavaliers trying to tie up this best-of-7 series at 2, and they really need to, and then go back to Boston later this week, and then probably have a Game 6 here on Friday night. We're optimistic for that. Live look right now, downtown Cleveland. Can see a lot of traffic beginning to build, courtesy of our First Alert camera network from our Jack Casino cam. Temperatures across the area today, wonderful. Upper 70s to near 80. Remember, normal highs this time of the year right at around 70, so we are above normal for this time of the year. Now, a little bit of cloud cover off to our western counties. Those clouds will start to thicken up a little bit as we head through tonight, though we're still looking dry pregame, postgame, and anything out and about this evening. And look where we are downtown, still at 81 degrees. We're going to be at around 80 downtown probably the next several hours. It's probably not until after 10 o'clock we start to dip down into the low 70s. Take a look at our hour by hour. Actually, we're going to take a wider picture, then we'll get to your hour by hour. Notice the rain coming in from the west, a few showers from Chicago back towards St. Louis. Eventually, all that rain and some thunder will make its way towards us tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up. Tonight, though, hour by hour, take a look. Temps running from around 80, falling into the 70s. Clouds will thicken up, but again, we stay dry tonight. Coming up in a bit, we'll take a closer look at tomorrow, timing out that rain, look at our severe weather threat, and how long we will stay mild. All that coming up. Inside here, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. So the crowd is building. Cavs Celtics here, less than an hour away from that Game 4 tip-off.
All right, more breaking news, and brace yourself here, Cavs fans. Donovan Mitchell will not play tonight against the Boston Celtics. That's according to ESPN. He was listed as questionable, dealing with a calf injury. Mitchell is averaging nearly 30 points a game in the playoffs, and the Cavs have just relied on him almost completely. Cavs need a win to even the series, but they're going to have to do it tonight without Donovan Mitchell.
Certainly is not good news. Here's breaking Browns news. Tom Brady is coming to the CLE, but not to play for the team. Legendary quarterback makes his regular season broadcasting debut when the Browns host the Cowboys in Week 1. The NFL just announcing the news minutes ago. The rest of the Browns schedule will come out on Wednesday, but at least we know Game 1. Remember, 19 is the place to be for most of the Browns' regular season games.
All right, the Jewish Community Center in Beechwood, very busy place, evacuated this afternoon because of a chlorine smell. The fire department was called in to figure out what was going on. They made the decision to clear the building. Then the Southeast Regional Hazmat team was on scene to make sure the community center is 100% safe and to determine the cause of that chlorine smell.
New grand jury charges in a deadly highway shooting in Cuyahoga Heights. Ian Rich facing almost a dozen charges, including aggravated murder for the April attack on I-77. David Perez died. His wife was injured. Rich will be arraigned on those new charges tomorrow, but for now, he remains in jail unless he can post a $1 million bond. News with continuing team coverage on an officer killed in the line of duty. Next at 6 o'clock, 19 Investigates taking a closer look at the suspect, his history of violent behavior, and why police were searching for him before this weekend's deadly shooting.
Yeah, guys, Mitchell out. You just talked about it. That means more on Darius Garland's plate. You'll hear from the Cavalier point guard coming up in sports.
All right, and a live look from our First Alert camera network overlooking Cleveland. Boy, what a beautiful day. Hope you had some time to get out there and enjoy it. Jason is back with, unfortunately, our next round of rain. It's coming up in the First Alert forecast.
The 19 News live camera network brought to you by the Summa Health Orthopedic Institute with same-day, next-day appointments. Learn more at summahealth.org/ortho.